Come on, guys. Welcome to a brand new Poker Live podcast. My name is Joey Gramont, aka Chicago Joey. Joined today by one of the podcast favorites, one of the most well-liked guests by me personally and by many of the podcast listeners out there since the history of the podcast. I just saw him in December. We got a nice meal together, and that's all I can talk about on the podcast. We got Will Jaffe, aka Dankness, aka what's going on, buddy? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm happy to be here. A little nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm ready to get things going.
What are you nervous about, kid?
I don't know. You've had a lot of big time guests on recently. I want to make sure I can hold my weight.
Oh, is that the case? Is that what's happening, huh?
Yeah, you got like Kanu on, you got Negreanu, the sauce guys. I just want I want to make sure I'm bringing something to the table.
Well, man, I don't know. I feel like you brought some good stuff to the table over the history of the podcast. You brought some good stories. You brought your loving spirit. You brought your high energy. You brought your I don't know. You brought a lot of cool things to the table. They're distracting me. They said no sound on your end, and that's because I accidentally turned it down. So, but guys on YouTube and Twitch, we are live. Ask any question, ask any comments you want. Better quality, watching on YouTube. That's going on. Okay, Dank, what have you been up to, my friend? Last time I saw you was in New Jersey. You were playing 2-5 PLO, I believe, at the time.
And, I think it was 5-5 actually, but
5-5. You're right. 5-5, 5-10. It's a bigger game, correct?
I've been playing a lot of live poker. It's actually aged me about 10 years, as you can see by my beard. But it's been good, and I mean, with all the stuff going on Poker Stars, I feel like it's a little bit of a hostile environment out there. I can't get Supernova Elite anymore. I don't see really much point in playing online, so I've been playing live more, trying not to lose all my money playing daily fantasy sports, and just hanging out with my dog and my girlfriend, and that's about it.
So Poker Stars, obviously, how many times did you get Supernova Elite over the past bunch of years, Daddy Dank?
I think I got it 5 times, 4 or 5 times.
I feel like we've been the last couple of guests. We had Chisness 5 times Supernova Elite, 4 time. We had Melia B 5 time, and then we got Big Daddy Dank back on 5-time SNE. Man, we were just It's almost like if you only watch the podcast, you'd think Supernova Elite was super easy to get.
Yeah. Well, it's funny now because I feel like it's like now that it's just like it's like worthless now. You know what I mean? Like it's like I got it, but it's like what am I gonna do now with it? You know what I mean? Like they're clearly just shutting the whole thing down. So it's kind of like, am I just gonna like frame those like things on the wall?
Yo, no one's ever seen my hair like this in the history of the podcast, guys. If you're watching this on iTunes, shout out to you. Watch this. My hair. I haven't put anything in my hair, but I can still make my hair look like my normal hair. It's
shout out to that hat hair though.
Dank, you ever done your hair, Dank?
I don't really use product, but I was actually thinking about starting to use a little product because my girl was saying it gets a little poofy. You know what I mean? Like kind of like a little Jew poof. And I was thinking about using product, but it kind of goes against some of my morals,
What? Wait a second. What? You have morals against putting something in your hair to give it a little bit of.
There's a kind of, no offense, but I feel like there's sort of a type of dude that gels up his hair, and I don't necessarily want to be that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? No, no shots fired.
Tell me more about this type of dude. Describe it a bit better for me.
It's kind of the type of dude that like has like a cabinet full of different Axe colognes and like hits the mirror really hard every night before they go out. And I just don't know if I want to be that type of dude. That's all. But respect to those type of dudes. You got 20 different types of Axe cologne and hair gel. That's do you play and get your hair right.
Kid. You realize my little 16-year-old brother who doesn't even know what cologne or body deodorant is he actually has some hair product he puts in his hair too.
Yeah. Well, I realize there's actually like a difference, between like hair gel and product. Like hair gel, I feel like is more like Jersey Shore. You grease it up, and product is just like you just put that shit in to make it look right. So I might be getting on a product train soon. I'm gonna wait till my girlfriend really starts to get tired of the poof. But right now it's looking good. Today it's looking good. The beard's coming in nice little winter ginger beard. And I'm I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty tan right now because I just got back from vacation. I don't know if you guys can see it through the video quality, but it was a nice vacation. I used 30 SPF and I got a little color. This is me having a little color.
If you would have said, "Do I look tanner than I have ever looked before?" I would have answered yes, because I would have wanted to make you feel good, but I wouldn't have known you were on vacation recently.
Well, I got a kind of crappy video camera over here, so I'm not sure you guys can see it, but I feel tan, nothing else.
Wait a sec. Lift up. Let me see your tan. You got tan lines? No, you got to talk. Get to see.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. You know what? We can go to the next topic.
Take your shirt off real quick. Take it. Hold on a second. Take it off.
No, I don't want to.
You're right. Next.
I got a girlfriend, man. I don't want to do that.
Next podcast. Listen, you don't want to get the guys out there too excited. Where did you go vacation at?
I went to St. Martin in the Caribbean.
Oh my God, St. Martin, Poppy. How was it, man?
It was awesome, man. A lot of Euros out there, a lot of funny ass Euros. And so I was wondering this thing about French people. I don't know if French people can confirm this or deny this on the podcast if we have any French listeners, but they seem to really like to stare at women and like very intensely, like not just like a creepy dude who sees a woman in the street. Like they like just look at them, and I was wondering if this is just like something that's part of the culture, or if French dudes are just kind of really creepy naturally. And
so when I was in Malta, I noticed this about Italian guys as well. So anytime you be at a nightclub, the Italian guys would be like this. Let's pretend hypothetically I'm an Italian guy and there's a woman that's my window right now. They're like, they don't say anything. They just look at it like this or like this. I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing? Like they don't talk, they don't do it. They just stare. So maybe it's some sort of
European thing.
It could be, yeah, but
the French thing was a little more intense. It wasn't like a pointing thing. It was just like an intense, deep stare. And then my girlfriend was saying, maybe they admire beauty. So I didn't want to, take that away from her. So I just kind of went with that one.
Well, we have a lot of Europeans out there that watch the podcast. So please let us know if what me and Dankness have experienced is standard European men pick up women strategy, or if this was an outlier situation and it's not actually common. So you got to let us know. Someone says the cold in Chicago is fucking freezing. Correct. Yes.
It's cold. Got a fucking hat on.
I know, right? What do you, so you're in New York right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in the city. In Brooklyn.
Brooklyn? Where are you playing live poker at?
I play at the Borgata mostly.
Do you drive down there and stay there, or do you, what's like the,
yeah, I drive down there. I stay at the Borgata because I don't really want to stay anywhere else in AC. And then I usually just go on weekends. Like they have like good tournament series and stuff. Like they have a WPT coming up this month, and they get a lot of games during that period. So I just try and go down, when there's good action down there.
So no more online poker, no more for right now, or what? What's the plan?
Well, it's weird with online because like I got Supernova Lead in 2014. And I was kind of like, this is going to be like, I'm going to start getting a lead again because obviously you keep getting a lead. And then Amaya started making all these changes. And it seemed pretty clear that like getting Supernova Elite might not be GTO anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's clearly not GTO at all because it's not even possible anymore. And I feel like for me, like I was always like, I feel like you might appreciate this because my skill came in being able to play a lot of tables. You know what I mean? Like people always say like, oh, dude, you play 24 tables, like you're not getting better. And that's kind of true. I mean, it is true. Definitely is true. But it's also, playing 24 tables is a different skill than playing 4 tables. It's a different type of thing you're doing with your brain. And that was always what I was good at. And a lot of it was just that I got used to that because I got pretty good at it easily. But it's still what I was good at and what I felt comfortable doing. And now I realize there's absolutely no point in doing it. So it's like, what am I going to do? Play online, try and get to the high stakes? You know what I mean? Like grind 2-5 Zoom. Like it's just not very appealing. And then you factor in the fact that I have to, leave home to do that. And I'm trying to live grind. And honestly, I'm enjoying it a lot.
So with They took away Supernova Elite completely, so it's not even so the bonuses that you got at are they not exist anymore? So basically, what is it? Just 45% of.
I have no idea, honestly. To be
Yeah,
honest, I don't
yeah.
really know anything about it. I just know you can't get elite anymore. That was the big thing for me that I learned.
Well,
But
how much less are you making? If you, let's say hypothetically you got 1 million BVPs, let's say, what percentage less are you making? So before, if you got SNE again, you would have made for first year, what is it, like 107, and that was before the 5K. So maybe it's like low hundreds, high 90s. Then what is it now? Is it 45K or something like that?
like maybe like 60K or something, but I have no idea really. I mean, my understanding was that they kind of chopped it pretty big. So
Yeah, I think it's 45. I think it's 45% now. So
yeah, what's going on, man? You've had all these like Stars pros on. You don't even know what the changes are.
no.
Podcast, man. You've been listening to anyone?
No, so I realized that they cut. I thought Supernova Elite still existed. I've been.
Oh yeah, Jesus, man.
No, I've been assuming Supernova Elite still existed.
Oh, does it? I don't know. Maybe I'm.
That's what I thought it existed.
Oh
I thought it existed, but they made the rake back 45% instead of 70. But you could still you'd still be recognized as a Supernova Elite, though. You'd still be that million BPs, and that you'd still be officially. I didn't know they just like, even if you got there, that you weren't like, they didn't count it. That's it. You're just like another person.
So basically, what you're saying is you get the massage without the happy ending now.
I mean, depending on which massage parlor you go to, I assume. Where the fuck are you getting massages at, kid?
I'm saying if it sounds like you're just getting a massage but no happy ending, and it's not a great massage. You know what I'm saying?
I never got a happy ending in my massage.
Me neither, man. It's a fucking metaphor. Come on.
Okay, it's 45% for 2015 SNE, but after that it's 30% cap.
Oh my god, dude, it's just like, I mean, the thing is, like, I hear all these people, and I really respect everyone. Like Donnie, I have a ton of respect for Donnie. I listen to a little bit of Kanu. I have respect for them, but at the end of the day, it's like, kind of like, what do you expect to happen? You know what I mean? Like, this corporation has taken over Stars, and everything they've done has been bad. You know what I mean? Is it like they're all of a sudden just going to be like, hey, you know what? We messed up. We're a big corporation, and we just want you guys to have a lot more money than we thought we did. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, at the end of the day, like, so for me, I think it's awesome that everyone's being proactive and fighting against it, but I just don't see what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess you could look at it that way. You could also look at it as from a standpoint that, well, you might as well fight because the small percentage of, like, let's assume you're going to keep playing anyway. Well, if you can potentially influence some type of change or some type of future change, or you could lead a charge that might, develop into a change at some point in time in the future, well, then you might as well do it. Obviously, you're putting a lot of energy, you're putting a lot of mental energy into it, you're putting a lot of mental thought into it that might take up a lot of your time throughout a normal day. But at the same time, maybe it is good for you to do it.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I don't really want to be playing online poker anymore. So personally, for me, I don't see the value in it, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
Like, and it is selfish and it's kind of probably short-sighted, but I just don't want to put any time and effort into even worrying about what's going to happen with it. You know what I mean? I completely understand, and I think what Donnie's doing is awesome, honestly. Like, people say, I always see people tweeting like, well, what's the strike going to do? Who the fuck cares what it's going to do? It's a massive thing. It's like, you know what I mean? It's fight the power. It's like, it's awesome. But I guess for me, I just don't see the purpose, the relevance for my own situation,
That makes sense. Yeah, I believe today is the last day of the strike, guys. After today, all you Americans, you'll be free to turn back on your team viewers, turn on your virtual private networks. But as of today, please keep it off. Please don't do that. Please join and embrace in the strike.
Well, I'm on the strike too, man. So I'm fighting. I'm not playing for a while.
Live pro now, huh?
Live pro.
What's the life of a Big Daddy Dank? Live pro.
It's kind of funny because I feel like when you play online and you come into the live world and you start grinding live a little, live has this pretty dark, like, it can be a pretty dark picture, like walking through the casino, seeing people chained to slot machine tables, like literally like with a leash that connects them to the slot machine table, like all the smoking and, just kind of like the gross things that come with being in a casino, and you're walking through this kind of environment, and you're thinking, wait, what am I doing? Like, I'm a young person. Like, I'm just in this environment, and that was the way I felt initially when I started playing live poker. You know, like, I just felt like, what am I doing with my life? This is a fucking nightmare. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that there are a lot of really nice benefits to playing live, and one of them is just that you get to interact with people the entire time. And there are certainly plenty of people that you don't want to interact with, but generally those people aren't going to interact with you. You know what I mean? So the way I see it is you kind of have this opportunity to sit at a table and talk to people all day if you want to. And I found that there are plenty of people that I actually enjoy doing that with. Whereas online is a much more kind of isolated game. You know what I mean? Where you're not really engaging, you're not having contact with other people. And I think because I played online so many years, I can appreciate live a lot more now that I'm a little bit older. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate the experience and get a little more out of it.
That was actually my favorite thing playing a bunch of live this summer in the World Series of Poker, was interacting with people. I was like, oh, I actually kind of like live. And they're like, why? I was like, well, you get to talk to people. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, you actually get to, and obviously I'm sure some people, you know, you might say like, oh, these guys are terrible. But I mean, I don't feel like I encountered too many of these. Even the terrible people are fun to talk to. They're still kind of funny.
Well, you don't play tournaments, right?
No.
Yeah. Well, I think that's also one thing is when you play like a tournament, like a 1500 WSOP event, I'm not saying there aren't any interesting people in the field, but it's just a much different dynamic, you know what I mean, than a cash game. It's much more tense. People are min raising with sunglasses on, you know what I mean? Like, and instead of just kind of like having a good time, like drinking, maybe having a beer, like having a cocktail, you know? So I think that live cash is a very different experience from what I've seen than live tournaments as well.
Never thought about that. Live tournaments. Whew.
They can be fun though, man. You know, they can be fun once in a while.
Could be. Are you planning to play more tournaments in the future?
I don't think so. I think it's interesting. I really resonate with a lot of guests you've had on who talk about tournaments versus cash, and they kind of know, like Donnie, I put this perfectly. Like, he knows that tournaments are kind of like this really frustrating, annoying thing, but they still offer a sort of different type of rush and excitement than when you play cash. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people coming back to tournaments, even though they know that they may not be the most plus EV decisions. Like, tournaments are plus EV in terms of the fact that you are probably going to have a big edge over a soft field, especially on live. But they're extremely minus EV in the sense that like 90% of the time or something, you're just going to play for a day or two and make nothing, you know? So I think that, yeah, I think that I'm moving more away from tournaments, but I still want to be open to them. You know what I mean? I still want to, I feel like it's a cool aspect of poker. It's a much more competitive aspect, you know, than cash games in my opinion. And I want to be able to experience that in some ways, but overall, I'm not much. And I'm sure for all those people who know me, they're pretty disappointed because I tend to add a little bit of value to every tournament I play.
So you think tournaments are more competitive than cash games?
Yes, it's not that I think that tournaments are harder than cash games. I think they're way softer in general. I think the way you play against thousands of other people and have to be the last person surviving is way more like a competition than sitting at a cash table with 8 other people and just trying to take as much money from the table, if that makes sense. It offers, and you know, like in a cash game, you can always rebuy. And in a tournament, when you're done, when you bust, you're eliminated. And I feel like it does offer a different sort of type of competition. And also, as you get deeper in the tournament, the stakes are raised each time. You know what I mean? Like when you're playing on day one with 1,000 people, you could be playing like, you know, 5-10 no limit. And then on day 3, you're actually playing like 50-100 no limit. You know what I mean? So it's kind of cool in that way. I think Ben 86 talked about that a little. Maybe it was him or someone, but I do think that's a kind of a cool aspect of tournaments that does bring a sort of different type of competition than you get in cash games.
Listen, Dank, I've been talked into this bullshit once before by Big Dick Donger Kim when he talked me into tournaments. I'm not falling for this again. Okay, yeah, I don't care what you say. I
I'm
don't
on
care
board.
what you say. I'm not loading up a tournament anytime soon. I can't do it. I'm not going to go to PCA this weekend and start playing tournaments. Not
Yeah,
going to be able to do it.
keep staying strong. I respect you. I wish I had your discipline.
I can't do it, man. Listen, I can't. I mean, it sounds fun in theory until you
Yeah,
open
it's
until
really
you
not that great.
yeah until you min raise ace king with 17 big blinds. The crazy guy behind you flat calls. Some guy squeezes. You decide to ship it in. He calls with jacks and you lose and you're out of tournament. Then you're like, that was
Yeah.
fun. Okay, that was a good time. I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
but at least then you could have a cool story for future tournaments about how you don't play ace king anymore. You know what I mean?
Was an ace king supposed to be a tournament hand? I've been taught ace
No,
king
but
was a
I'm saying
tournament
like a
hand.
lot of people, I feel like they bust from a tournament with a certain hand, and then like you play with them in another tournament, and they're like, no, I don't play tens anymore. I had a bad experience with them.
Well, shit, isn't that how it works? You're supposed to learn from your mistakes, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In tournaments, I feel like you learn pretty quickly. You know, you bust with ace king, you don't play it anymore, right? Let's
Pretty
not
sure.
talk about tournaments, man. This is the PLO podcast.
Is it though?
I don't know anymore. Actually, it's kind of more like a sort of unknown thing now. You know, it's all different types of things. It's awesome. You've got all different types of guests on, man.
You know what the end goal is, right?
I actually have no idea. I know it's not to make money.
It's fucking true right there. The bang bang, it's true. The end goal is to get everyone to play PLO, the best card, the best game in the world. You get 4 cards. I mean, honestly, Dankness, when I think about PLO, you get 4 cards. Like,
Nice. A
you
lot of
know, it's
action.
isn't it crazy? Like, I mean, I witnessed you play 78% of your hands in an hour's period of time at PLO. You couldn't even do that in No Limit Hold'em.
No, it probably wouldn't be plus EV or GTO.
Right. But at PLO, the greatest game in the world with 4 cards and so many possibilities, and when you know you have an advantage in skill over your opponents, you can get away with that, and actually it becomes possibly GTO in the right table dynamic.
Very GTO to play 78% of your hands. That's pretty much what I did online until people started kind of adjusting with their HUDs and stuff.
But no live, there's no HUDs, right?
No HUDs live. So what are they going to do? They have to do the math in their head, and that's difficult.
I don't know. I kind of like the table we played at. There was that old guy that was pretty. I like that guy.
There's a lot of funny guys at Borgata, man. There's a lot of characters. We have different names for people, but it's a really good community there, a really tight knit community, you know.
What's your nickname there?
Bum Bum, Willie Bum Bum.
Willie Bum Bum.
Yeah,
Why
it's kind
is
of a
it?
long story. It's there's a video. Apparently, there's a YouTube video of called Willie Bum Bum or something, and it's like a kind of disgusting, perverted cartoon song video. And this kid was always trying to get me to. He's like, "Oh, you know the Willie Bum Bum video?" And I was like, "No." And so he tried to show it to me. I watched a little of it. It was disgusting, but for some reason that nickname stuck. So you know how like everyone calls me Dankness in the online poker world or whatever, Danky, whatever. Now it's Bum Bum. So at first I didn't really like it, but now I've gotten used to it, and I actually kind of enjoy it. So it's nice in that way.
Do you really have a hot girlfriend like you've been alleging for the past 8 years? I've never seen it. Okay, wait. I've seen that one photo, but that's it. I've never seen I've never seen like a
Come on,
positive
isn't that
interaction
enough
with
of a receipt? Isn't that enough of a receipt for you?
That's like a 7-year-old receipt you showed me.
But that's still, I mean, you know what I mean? It's not. I don't claim to have a hot girlfriend anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. You used to claim. I mean, you used to talk about this on 2+2 like
yeah,
once a week.
I wanted people to know. You know, now I'm just more comfortable in myself. You know, I'm more confident, and I don't. It's not as important for people to know I have a hot girlfriend. So, you know what? At this point, believe what you want. You saw the receipt from 7 years ago. I mean, you could also say the same thing about a bracelet. You know, like people be like, "Oh, is he good at poker?" I could say I have a bracelet from 3 years ago. You know what I mean? What more do you need? I'm not claiming I'm good at poker anymore. Just it is what it is.
Sounds like a mature man over there, Dank.
You can see I'm matured in a lot of ways. I'm just an extremely mature person, and I think I'm not saying like as much on the podcast, which was kind of a big thing I wanted to improve because of what Lex said when I had my first podcast.
How do you think you can improve on not saying like or or any of those type of things?
I don't know. I'm probably saying them anyway. It's just it's a mature thing. It's a maturity thing. You know, you kind of just start to feel what you're saying a little more. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head, but I wanted to make more of an effort because I didn't want to be saying like every sentence.
That makes sense. I'm not sure how you get better at that. I think it's just you have to make a very conscious effort.
Experience, I think. You've gotten better at podcasting. You know, you just do it a lot.
Well, Daddy Dank, when you go from being on the computer all day long for 6 to 7 years, and then you start talking to people in a live setting, a little bit challenging. You know, hey, they don't train you for that on PokerStars 10-cent, 25-cent tables.
True.
So, it it takes some adjusting for sure. So, are you gonna be going to any poker traveling tournaments or anything like that anytime soon?
You know, I kind of wanted to go to LAPC this year. My friend Fish Cakes, aka Fisher, he's one of my good buddies, plays at Borgata, had a really good trip there last year, and he just said that the PLO games are really juicy and fun. So I kind of want to check it out, and I want to go to. I've only been to LA once, and I was basically in a weed coma for like 3 weeks. I slept on someone's couch and didn't leave their apartment, and I kind of would like to experience the West Coast a little, you know.
Weed coma for 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was pretty intense, man. The weed out there, well, now it's like everyone has strong weed, you know? But the weed out there back then, this was like 6, 7 years ago. The weed out there was like fucking insanely strong back then. Like, you could only get a couple types of weed in New York back then. And I went to California, and the first day, my friend was like, well, what do you want to try? We have 10 different flavors right now. And I was just like, I don't know. And I was immediately just really high, and I stayed really high for 2 weeks, and I had trouble moving.
Do you miss those days? Because you don't smoke weed anymore.
You know, no, I actually don't miss going to a different location and not being able to get off a couch for 3 weeks, as hard as that sounds to believe. There's random times I miss not smoking weed, but my friends from home smoke weed every night. Like, they still smoke. They smoke probably more than I even smoked when I smoked a lot, and I can be around them. There's pretty much nothing I miss about it, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, shout out to weed. So is weed against terms of service? Is that against TOS?
What do you mean?
Is it legal to do weed, or is that illegal still? I mean, in some states it's legal if you get like a license or if you buy it or something, right?
It's becoming more legal. Like, there are legalized states, I think, like Colorado is legal. And I don't know what other ones, but in general in New York too, like, they've also changed the laws a little, where it used to be like you could get arrested for having like any amount of weed on you. Now it's like you just get a ticket or something if you have under an ounce or something. So it's becoming more legal. It's becoming more accepted. You know, it's I don't know. I have a lot of different views on weed at this point. I really, it really was a bad experience for me personally. But I think that a lot of different people seem to get a really positive experience out of it. So I don't, you know, it's tough for me to make like a conclusive judgment because I'm very biased from my own experience, you know?
So hypothetically, if you had a friend who was dating a person who enjoyed smoking weed, but that person, the friend, never smoked weed, would you say that, oh, your friend should try it with the person that he's dating because that person enjoys it and it's not a bad thing? Or would you recommend that person does not try it?
That's kind of a tricky question. I think that ultimately, if you are dating someone who's smoking weed regularly, and you don't smoke weed, I think it's important to try it, because otherwise you're going to be around them a lot when you're sober and they're high, and that just doesn't seem like the best kind of environment. But I'm sure people can make that work. I mean, you know, that's the way I hang out with my friends from home now. They're just high all the time, and I'm completely sober, and I still enjoy it. You know what I mean? But I think if you've never tried weed, you should definitely try it. You know what I mean? Like, if you try it and have a bad experience, don't do it again, you know? Like, but I do think it's something that's worth trying. Like, it's also not technically addictive drugs. You don't have to worry. It's not like Molly, you know what I mean? Where you're going to see Tiesto and your friends are dropping Molly, and then, you know, 2 months later, you've done Molly like 18 times, and you have Tiesto's whole album tattooed on your left ass cheek or something. But, you know, I mean, it's like, yeah, try weed if you haven't tried it. What you think? It's on.
That's pretty funny. I think you just did describe what happens when you do Molly for the first time too.
Yeah, Molly's a funny drug, man. And shout out, the real people who should be shouting out Molly are pretty much every electronic DJ. Because without Molly, they'd probably still be living in basements somewhere, just working on Fruity Loops and Pro Tools. But instead, they're like the richest people in the world.
Mm. Interesting. What are you thinking about becoming a DJ too?
I think about it sometimes because I don't really know anything about music, but I know that every time I've been to one of these big EDM concerts, I go to one stage and a DJ says, "Hey, I want everyone to sit down now," and everyone sits down. And then he goes, "I want everyone to stand up now," and everyone stands up, and everyone's going crazy. And I'm kind of just looking around like, what just happened? And I go to the next stage, and the same DJ is doing the same thing, but he's playing the same exact song. But he's like, "This is my remix. This is Yolonko remix to this song. I want you to stand up and sit down. And then when I go on three, you go, everybody gets up." And the same thing happens, but everyone's even more excited than the first DJ who was playing the same song. So at some point, I'm just like, this can't be that hard to do.
What was that accent? Was that a? Is that a?
That was just like my Swedish DJ accent. Those dudes are awesome.
Accent.
Those dudes are awesome. They just like, it's fun to watch. I kind of like watching the streams just to see what the DJs do. You know what I mean? Like just to see their kind of dance moves and what they say. And I don't know. It's funny.
Can you give us like a good? Can you give us a good 45-second DJ voice and the moves that they might do? Or get like 15. We don't want pressure. 15.
Let me see. Yes, this is Tiesto. I'm coming to you live. What's up, Amsterdam? I want to hear you on three. 1, 2. No, let's do 5. 1, 2, 3. No, let's do 10. Wait, we're gonna drop it. I don't know, man. It's just like, it's a crazy world. Like the whole electronic world is kind of crazy to me because I really don't believe it would exist to the level it does without Molly.
I feel like I've been to a lot of music festivals. When I feel like I go, I feel like there's the majority of people are on some sort of illegal substance for sure.
It's funny because the first time I went to EDC, I didn't really know what it was. My friends were going, and they said, "We're going to EDC," and I said, "All right, cool, let's go," you know. And I hadn't really heard that music before, so it was kind of very new to me. And I went and I had an awesome time. Like I just danced a lot. I had an awesome time. And maybe 5 to 10 different random people came up to me and said, "Hey, like, do you know where I can get Molly?" And I was like, "No, like, why are you asking me?" And I realized they just all thought I was on Molly. So I was like, okay, whatever, you know, like they thought I was on Molly, whatever, I was having a good time. Then the next year I went to EDC and I just realized that everyone there was on Molly. And it completely changed my experience, you know what I mean? Because the first year it was like I was having a great time, I was doing it on my own, and I thought everyone else was just in the same kind of level as me. And then I sort of realized the next year that everyone was just, you know, using a performance enhancing drug to make Tiesto sound like Beethoven or whatever.
So yeah, it makes you not like it as much, or what?
It just made me kind of open my eyes to the reality that like I can only listen to like dun, 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 you know, so many times before I start to realize, wait, what am I listening to? Why do I like this? You know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I was on Molly, it would be kind of shutting those kind of brainwaves down and just focusing on the good, like, I love you, man. Like, this is the best night of my life. Like, this is the best Tiesto song I've heard in 5 years, like type of thing. But I just can't get into that, man. You know, I'm sober. Like, I don't do Molly. I'd like to do it sometime, but for me, I feel like I have a pretty addictive personality. So I might be one of those type of people that do Molly, you know, and then a couple months later, shit just got real. I got Tiesto's whole Lifetime album on my chest in a tattoo form, and you know, who knows what'll happen.
Yeah, I think that happened to me when I first got into electronic music, and there may or may not have been TOS, breaking substances, involved in this love of electronic music. And then I started listening to it as from like a sober standpoint, and I don't listen to it anymore because it's just, you know, it all feels like the same thing.
When you're not high on a really powerful drug. Just not easy to listen to.
Really isn't, though. And then even going to music festivals without maybe only drinking a couple of drinks, and people are telling you like, "Man, I love you," and you're just like,
"Yeah, I don't really love you at all.
I know you don't love me. Like I know you don't love me. I know it's not true what you're telling me right now, and I might have believed you before, but I just don't believe you now." And
I always find it really funny when people come up to you and they're like, we kind of have the topic of more serious drugs like Molly and acid and stuff, and they're like, you know, you really just gotta try it. Like, you need to do it. And I'm just thinking, like, yeah, maybe I want to do Molly at some point in my life, but it's definitely not something I ever need to do. You know what I mean? Like, I need to eat in the morning. I need to drink water throughout the day. Like, I probably need to exercise. I definitely don't need to do this extremely powerful drug that's going to make me love you all night. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to do that. I might want to do that, but it's just the most ridiculous thing. It's like, no, man, you really just need to experience it. It opens your mind. And I'm like, I'm sure it does, but that doesn't mean I need to do it. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? What if I just develop a Molly addiction? Then how are you going to feel about me needing to do it? You know what I mean? I don't know, man. It's a funny topic.
You getting some PTSD right now? Do you have a tattoo of Tiesto's latest album on your body?
If I did have a tattoo, it would probably be that. I'm too white for a tattoo, man. It would look fucking absurd on my skin.
Huh. I feel like you've been to some stories, that you've done some things that's making you think this way.
No, it's just the past few years, like kind of the rise of electronic music, the rise of in the poker world, the rise of Molly, like the whole thing is just kind of ridiculous to me. I guess I feel strongly about it. I'm a little bit passionate about the subject.
I know. I mean, you're not this passionate about poker, that's for sure.
Well, poker's like whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you can play poker and not like I would never get this worked up about, you know, losing an all in or something. You know, like it's just not that interesting to me. You know, It's interesting in a different way. This is the music thing is like, you know, it's the whole Molly. I don't know. I could go on for days about it. It's a funny thing to me.
I thought about it a lot since I've been retired from my raging days. I go look back at my old Facebook and Twitter post in like the end of 2012, early 2013, and they're crazy.
Yeah,
it's just like rage, like on the tweet. Man, people must have thought I was completely fucked up.
Well, I'm happy to see you, you know, a little more level-headed now, not in Australia or wherever you were buying Lamborghinis and dating saleswomen from Lamborghini.
An accountant.
Accounting, yeah.
The accountant.
Story.
That's different. Accountant or saleswoman's different.
I got to give a shout out too to that Lex Joanda story. That's probably my favorite story I've ever heard on a podcast, just because of the way Lex told it. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
It was the Lex and Joanda, something about like they were in a hotel room or something like that. And
yeah, so basically, I don't know how it got brought up, but you asked Lex if he had any Joanda stories or something, and Lex was like, "Yeah, I have a really funny Joanda story." And he started the story just talking about how this dude just ended up with his boxers in his hotel room, and the whole time I'm thinking this must be Joanda. So I'm just picturing Joanda just in his boxers, just in Lex's room, and Lex doesn't know who, you know, like Lex is like, "What are you fucking doing?" And then it turned out that wasn't even Joanda. That was just like a weird intro to a story about Joanda.
For those who don't know, Dankness is talking about a story Lex Feldhaus told on the last podcast we had him on about John Joanda, and then that was the lead up to the story. What was the actual Joanda story during that? After that,
the funny part was it was such an insane build up to the story, because like that was an insane story in itself, and then the actual story was just that Lex like 4-bet Joanda, and Joanda like 5-bet shoved and showed a deuce or something. Like that was the whole Joanda story.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was just a funny poker hand, but the lead up to the story was, in my mind, about Joanda just wandering into Lex's room in the middle of the night with his boxers on somehow. You know what I mean? And waking Lex up, like asking him to make a peanut butter sandwich or something. I don't know. Just it was a funny story to me.
Sounds like you've come around on this young Lex Feldhaus guy. I've
always been a fan of Lex's. I think that things got a little confusing when I kind of called him out on my first podcast. I've always been a big fan of his. Like, that's the thing, is I just honestly thought that he wasn't good at PLO when you asked me that first question or whatever, you know? And I mean, he's gotten a lot better since then. So I think everything's worked out for everyone, you know?
Has he got a lot better since then? I'm not sure. I don't know. Does he?
I thought so for sure. From my experience playing with him, I definitely thought he got a lot better. But also, I never had any animosity towards Lex. He was always one of my favorite. I always looked up to him because he was that dude who was 24 tabling 6 max. You know what I mean? When I first started playing on PokerStars, with the super cool like Grim Reaper avatar or whatever he had. And then when he came on the podcast, I thought it was awesome. Like his podcasts are some of my favorite podcasts of yours that I've listened to. It was just more that I just didn't think he was good at PLO when you asked me, you know?
Mm.
But shout out to Lex for getting good at PLO now. Or just being good the whole time and maybe I didn't know.
Is he good?
I thought he got a lot better, but I don't really play with him anymore. I mean, who knows? I'm not a good assessor of other people's skill at poker. That's what I've realized over the years.
Why not?
I don't know. It's just weird. Like, you know how people you find with poker players, a lot of poker players just say other poker players suck, or like
I hate when people. That's one of my. I really hate when people do that.
So much. It's like you'll be playing with someone and you'll just be talking about, you'll ask them like what do you think of what do you think of who's a good example? Like, what do you think of someone really aggressive red? You just insert name, right, to that player, and that player's like, oh no, he's a fucking nit. You know what I mean? And it's just like, he's clearly not a nit. He might not be good at poker, but he's not a nit. And it's just this, I feel like it's this go-to phrase that people have, and it just really annoys me. Like, it's cool. I like when I ask someone what they think of a player, and they're like, dude, that guy's awesome. Like, he's fucking really good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess with me, I've always felt I've always wanted to say people are good, if that makes sense, as like a response to all the negativity around the way people talk about other players. So I feel like that's kind of jaded my outlook on players in general. Although that doesn't explain why I thought Lex used to suck.
Well, I know I used to think Lex used to suck at PLO. So, yeah, I think I don't know. Without Russian PTR, there's just really no way to know if how people are doing these days, because it doesn't track Zoom anymore. So if Zoom's your main game, it's hard to.
Yeah, and it's tough to know too, because like you could think someone's giving you a really hard time, but in reality they're just making a lot of hands against you.
Mm-hmm.
Or in vice versa, you could be just owning someone, and then in reality they're just like running into the top of your range every time with kind of unfortunate situations. So yeah, but I definitely am not a good assessor of other people's play at all.
Mm. Okay, I believe you. 111 Jonathan says, "Love this dude already. Who is it? Who are you, Dank? Who are you? Tell Jonathan who you are."
I'm Dankness, aka Bum Bum. I'm a live pro, aspiring actor. I don't know, man. I'm just a guy who has very strong feelings about EDM and Molly.
When did this EDM Molly? I don't remember you ever talking to me about EDM or Molly ever in our entire lives together. Now all of a sudden you've got this like spirited, passionate, like unknown passion that I never knew you quite had in you sometimes about this subject.
I guess it's just kind of built up. It's like one of those things that like just builds up because you don't really let it out at all. Like I'm saying like again too much, but I feel like I never talk about it really. So I feel strongly about it because most of the time when I experience it, I'm around people who are coming from that other side, the side of, dude, like, this is amazing music. Like, I love you right now. I literally love you. I would marry you right now if I was gay, or even if I wasn't gay, because I love you so much. And it has nothing to do with this incredible drug I'm on.
Hold on. While we're talking about EDM, hold on. Let me make a quick outfit adjustment real quick. Just in the spirit. Just in the spirit of the podcast. Hold on, kid.
Don't put on the spirit hood, man. Don't do it.
Hold on. You gotta do it, Poppy. I gotta make you feel like you're at home while we're talking about this.
God.
Good. Now we're at home. We're good. Now you feel like I love. Dang. Yo, hold on a second, Dank. Hold on, Poppy. Hold on, baby.
Oh
Yo, we jiving right now, kid. Yeah. You having a good time, Dank? You enjoying the podcast today, puppy?
I think I might be sick. I think I'm going to be sick.
Yeah. Dank, man, I love you, man. You bring so much to the podcast. I love having you on, puppy. Thank you, man. Thank you. What do you got to say about that, puppy?
I mean, it's just like if these people love this music and love me without some mind-altering drug that's extremely powerful and potent and cut with 18 different kinds of drugs, I would feel a little bit different about the situation. You know what I mean?
I feel you, man. I feel you.
I don't know, man. I can't. How can I hate on that, man? You just look so, you just look so chill right now. You look so mellow, man.
You know,
Make me
we just
want to smoke weed again. Make me want to do my drug again.
listen, man. It's been a good day. I'm just enjoying the music. I'm enjoying your voice, your podcasting, man. I like hearing you talk. It's great, man. It's great.
Maybe people can just do Molly and listen to my podcast, and I'll change my opinion on everything.
I don't know, man. It sounds like you need to go to Burning Man with King Dan. He might turn you around on all this stuff, buddy.
Don't even get me started on the whole Burning Man thing, man. That's like another level.
Wait. Let's talk about Burning Man because we've had.
No,
we have,
no, dude, I don't want to do Burning Man, man. Come on, let's not go there.
Let's talk about Burning Man, Dank. Just give us your opinion on Burning Man.
Dude, you know what? Man, I don't know. It's like there's too many shots fired when I talk about these things. You know what I mean?
There's been 0 shots fired so far.
So Dan's post about Burning Man, the post they did in his blog.
Are you referring to King Dan, aka Dan Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, I know his post.
So I thought that was an incredible post. Like, it was really well written, and it was actually the most I've ever it was probably one of the only times I ever actually wanted to go to Burning Man after reading that post.
Okay.
But I feel like there's this whole, like, it's just like with these drugs, like, it's like you're gonna feel like a pretty special way when you do the most powerful drugs that have ever been invented. You know what I mean? And you go to the desert and people are all dressed up, like you are right now, but even way, way sicker outfits and stuff. And you're probably going to question what's going on in life, and you're probably going to think about what you should do. And you know what? That's fine. Like that, and I don't see anything wrong with that, honestly. It's just more the whole way. Like, it's like the whole thing. Like, you have to go to Burning Man. You have to experience the burn, man. You have to go and see the fire get lit on the desert with the smoke and the dust clouds in your eyes when you're on PCP and you've taken 25 tablets of acid. It's just like, you know what? Maybe I'll do that one day, and maybe I'll have a great experience. But maybe I'll just die. You know what I mean? And maybe I don't want to die or something. I don't know. It's like it's so, I don't know, man. It's fucking crazy. And a lot of these people, like, no shots fired, but these are the type of people that you'll go up to a poker room because you've seen them before, and you'll say, "Hey, man, what's going on?" And they'll be like, "Ugh." You know what I mean? They'll just be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, man? What's going on? I just busted with the Queens." You know what I mean? Like. And these are the same people that are telling you need to go to Burning Man to change your life because it's going to open your world. No, dude, just act nice to me when you see me in the fucking poker room. And then don't act like I need to go to Burning Man and do fucking 45 tablets of, PhD or whatever it is just to open my mind. Like, why don't you just open your mind and just act like a human to someone else and be social when you're in a normal setting? How about that? All right, so I'm done. I really don't want to fucking do the whole Burning Man
You've
thing.
been getting big time lately, Dank. Sounds like, huh?
I've been getting big time my whole fucking poker career, man. You know what? And I'm pretty sore about that shit. Big timing is the worst fucking thing in poker. It's the fucking worst.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, I hate Phil Hellmuth because I dislike Phil Hellmuth strongly because him big timing me. So I can understand the big timing makes you angry. What happened? You had a story? Give us a story, kid.
There's so many stories, you know how many people, like, I've seen and I've talked to and I've thought I've developed rapport with, only to see them, like, walking around with, I don't fucking know, like Lucky Chewy or someone, and all of a sudden I give them a big what's up, and they suddenly, I look like I fucking got 1,000 heads or something. You know what I mean? Because they're hanging out with Lucky Chewy in the Poker X Factor Lounge or something. I don't know, man. It's just throughout my whole, and I love Lucky Chewy. That's a great dude right there. He's one of the best dudes in poker. Sorry to use him for that fucking example, but it's just like, who the fuck are these people that think because they play a certain card game and, like, they final tabled the big 162 18 times, in 15 years, that, like, suddenly they can't act friendly to you or they can't be excited to see you? It's just like, it's fucking bullshit. And then these are the same people that tell you really need to go to Burning Man because it's going to be a life-changing experience. Like, what the fuck, man? Just it's so fucking prevalent in the poker world too, It's so fucking prevalent. These super emo kids that, like, you ask them how they're doing and they're like, "Oh, I just busted, like, with kings to, ace queen suited." Like, no, how are you fucking doing? Like, how's your life? Do you have, like, a dog? You know what I mean? Like, I don't care that you busted, like, a WPT main event 2 weeks ago, to, like, fucking Talal Shakurchi or something. It's just like, I could go on for this shit for days, dude. And to be honest, it doesn't really affect me anymore because I'm not in the world anymore. But I obviously have a lot of built up feelings for this type of fucking shit that goes on in the poker world.
So wait a sec. You're telling me if you win a tournament, a WPT tournament, and you maybe you might get a little influx in your bankroll. Maybe you all of a sudden you start hanging out with people who may be a little bit more well known. You're saying I should still keep giving you a head nod if I see you pass through, if you're not one like not doing maybe winning tournaments yourself? You're saying I should keep doing that or I shouldn't? I should stop doing. I should stop recognizing you as an individual if I win a tournament and I'm hanging out with Lucky Shuey.
Yes, I'm saying that just seems to be the way that things work in the poker world. Like it's just like this fucking big timing, man.
Really, it is. I agree.
It's just like a level of respect for people. Have a level of respect for someone. If you have a conversation with someone, don't fucking give them a grunt and a look down the next time you see them. Just because you're fucking hanging out with Ryan D'Angelo, you know what I mean, and drinking a smoothie. Like,
where are you coming up with these names?
I don't know, man. You got me started on the fucking Burning Man thing. You really just opened up a fucking wound in me.
Which burner big time do you, dude? Someone big time.
Fucking all of them, man. They're all fucking big time burners.
I mean, I feel like.
It's like, dude, okay, so look at the whole fucking Lex story. The Lex story about Antonio?
When Antonio big timed him.
Yeah. So this is the thing, dude. Antonio is like the biggest proponent of Burning Man in the world. Okay? This dude is telling everyone and their mother they have to go to Burning Man, they have to experience the burn. Meanwhile, he couldn't invite Lex to dinner because Lex had 2 friends with him. You can't go to dinner with more than 5 people, but you need to go to the desert and do all different types of crazy drugs to open your mind. I mean, what type of fucking logic is that? It's ridiculous. And this shit it runs fucking rampant in the poker world.
Give us some other examples of times you've seen this.
Man, it's just like, poker players all the time are coming up to me telling me, talking about drugs, and I'm saying, yeah, I used to smoke weed, I smoked way too much weed and now I just don't do any drugs, and they're like, yeah, that's cool and all, but you should really just try LSD because like it'll totally open your mind. And I'm just like, no, I don't really think like that's the best thing for me. I got pretty addicted to weed, so I don't want to try a drug that's way more dangerous. And they're like, no, dude, it's not addictive at all. You really need to try it. And it's just like this whole thing, like I don't need to fucking do anything except like what's basic to survive, let alone like, I don't know. It's just, there's these kind of absurdities, I feel like, in the poker world. And because people have a lot of success and whatnot, they kind of just get away with them. And because the poker world is just like this fucking, it's just like it's like this jungle of bullshit. Like, it's like, oh, this guy won a WPT and he just like finished 8th in an EPT high roller. So like, I should really just go up to him and see what's up and see if he'll hang out with me. You know what I mean? And my other friend, who like I knew from grade school, but is still grinding the big 22. Like, I don't really need to hang out with him anymore because I'm not going to get any better by hanging out with someone that still grinds the big 22. Like, it's just like this whole fucking hierarchy of bullshit in the poker world. And I feel very lucky that I was able to kind of get away from it as soon as I was, but it's obviously still something that's like boiling up inside of me.
I think you just said one of my favorite things. If you win a WPT and then you get 8th in the EPT high roller, all of a sudden people want to start traveling with you. They might want to be buddy with you. They might want to go on that little jet ski ride with you in the ocean. Like, all of a sudden they might want to go diving with you in PCA because maybe you got 6th in the high roller. It's very weird how that works out. But like you said, your buddy who's grinding the hot 47 or something like that. You don't want to hang out with your buddy grinding the hot 47 because, can he pay for dinner, or is he gonna ask you? Like, it's
Can he CCR? I don't know if he can even CCR with us. You know what I mean? It's just like, fucking come on, man.
That's how it works, man. What about? I like that Jamie Kerstetter, one of the funniest people I know, had a tweet the other day. She said she hopes in 2016 she can achieve the type of poker success that allows her to comment on any single subject from an authoritative standpoint. And I was like, that's a very good thing. That's very true. It does. When poker players have some success at poker and they get good at poker, all of a sudden they feel like they are experts on a number of different topics. And you could argue that some really smart people have success at poker, so they just feel like, oh, maybe I feel more willing to voice my opinion on these other things, knowing that I'm smart or might be smart. Yeah. But I feel like this does run a bit rampant in poker as well too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the experts on all types of things. Like, these people will tell you how you should fucking garden your plants. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's no limit to what someone who wins a WPT and gets 8th in a high roller suddenly knows about all different types of life topics, you know? It's a very accurate tweet.
What Burning Man guy? There's someone particular you're talking about when you bring up this story. I just have to know who it is.
Ridiculous. I already mentioned King Dan because I really liked his blog post, and that was probably the only thing I've ever liked that's even associated with Burning Man. I just think that it's just this general like culture of like, we're going to talk a certain way and we're going to talk about this thing, we're going to act this way, but when we see you in a normal poker setting, we're just going to be complete fucking weirdos. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you could argue that the people in the poker setting, they're focused on poker. They're trying to be in the zone, in the Phil Hellmuth zone.
Yeah, they're focused on poker because they're trying to ask Lucky Chewy about different, you know, downward dog poses and how many fucking times he 3-bets with Ace King. That like, it's still, you can still fucking acknowledge someone. You know what I mean? Like,
so you're saying
this is what's crazy about it. I have so much boiled up that I end up targeting Lucky Chewy, who's literally like the nicest person and best person in poker. That's how fucking messed up this shit is, man. That's why I didn't want you to get me started on Burning Man.
No, we got to get you. I
told you not to get me started.
If you can't get this out here, where can you get it out at?
It's true. I mean, you can't pay therapists for this shit. They'd fucking send you packing.
Listen, Daddy Dank, this is why they call me the Oprah of the poker world, my friend. You sit down, you sit on my goddamn couch. I'm wearing my spirit hood. I'm wearing my glasses to make you feel like you're at home in a rave setting. And you tell me what's happening, man. You give it to me.
Oh, my God. Yeah, you know what? I got to give you credit because I feel like on an old podcast, you wouldn't have known to get this out of me. You know what I mean? Like, you've definitely come a long way. You fucking learned the ins and outs of the podcasting world, you motherfucker.
Well, I like to stop people before they incriminate themselves in some situations. But you're not incriminating yourself. You're actually talking about a very, very, very prevalent topic that no one really talks about in poker. So I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm
definitely not going to get too many invites to Burning Man next year, I'll tell you that.
Ear Pilot says it's the same thing in every way of life. Success brings you to want to hang over successful people. So he's basically saying in all different types of niches or genres or activities, if you're successful, people who are also doing that want to hang out with you because you are good at what they want to be good at.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have enough real world experience to really comment on that. But I will say this, if the poker world is like the real world, fuck, man, there's nowhere to go. Like, we're just stuck here.
I'm pretty sure the real world is worse. Like an office dynamic is much worse than the poker world is.
Yeah, the office dynamic seems like a fucking total nightmare.
I agree. I kind of want to go to, you want to go to Burning Man Scare next year?
Dude, we should just go to Burning Man and just say, fuck it. Just see what this is all about. Just completely contradict myself and just go to Burning Man with Antonio and Sorrell next year.
Might as well. We can do a boxing match afterwards too. We can do a little mixed martial arts fight for charity. I'm in.
Yeah, dude, I actually would. I've never fought someone before. I kind of want to fight another poker player. Like, I really wanted to fight Alexo.
You guys are about the same size too. Alexo 18, our young Chilean mining friend.
Tiny, but I'm sure he'd probably beat the shit out of me with some like hidden jiu-jitsu or something. I think the poker fighting. Did you watch the Mizzy Rast fight? I didn't watch it, but
of course I watched the Mizzy Rast fight. Shout out to my buddy Brian Rast. He got beat down a little bit, unfortunately. But
that's what I heard. I heard he just kept getting like beaten down, and they didn't stop the fight.
Yeah.
Was it entertaining?
It was entertaining for sure.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch it then. I think the fighting thing is cool in poker. I think that's a really cool way to kind of just like make something interesting happen in poker. You know.
I'll fight someone. Why not?
Yeah, let's. We should have like a whole undercard though. You know what I mean? It shouldn't just be one fight. Like, it should be like, you know, like Negreanu versus Selst, and then like someone else versus someone else. You know. Like,
why would? What fight?
It's just the first matchup that came to mind.
Daniel Negreanu versus Vanessa Stelps.
Like that's the headline of a card. You know what I mean? Like they have Rousey as the headline. Like so, me and you could be like the prelim fights.
Okay, so my fight and then your fight and then Daniel Negreanu versus Vanessa Stelps as the headliner.
Yeah, something like that.
That sounds good. Yeah, I'll fight somebody. Why not? I don't mind. Sounds like fun. I'm actually going to start training different. I'm not sure if I want to go the Benedict 6 route with jiu-jitsu or if I want to go the boxing route first. But I do have a very strong work ethic, so.
Well, and I'm sure if you committed to fighting like you committed to basketball, you'd probably be a top UFC fighter in like 2 years.
I'm scared about how good I am at basketball from having absolutely no training at all. Just me going to the gym and just working very hard and putting hours in. So,
yeah, I mean, shout out to Joey's crossover.
Shout out to my. What about who could I fight? I don't want to fight a random person from the live stream. I'm sorry, I just don't want to. Who could I fight? Who could I fight? Who do you think? Who would you match me up with, Dank, if you were a matchmaker?
I don't know, Lucky Chewy.
I don't even know Lucky Chewy. That's somebody I know.
I feel like Biggie Smalls would be a good match for you.
Me and Marty
Rose.
Someone in the podcast. I mean, shout out to Marty. I don't think me and Marty are going to fight him soon, but somebody that the people on the podcast might be able to recognize right now.
Do they recognize Tim Stone?
They probably know Tim Stone. Yeah, I'd fight. Yeah, me and Tim Stone would be a good matchup.
Tim Stone would kick the shit out of you, but I think that'd be.
I don't think so.
Really, you think you could take him?
I mean, maybe not right now, this very second. No, but I'm sure if I put 12 hours a day in there for 5 months, I'm sure I might be able to give him a challenge for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That dude's pretty cut.
What are you trying to say? I'm not cut? I'm not that cut.
You seem like one of those dudes that's like in shape, but you wouldn't notice if you looked at them without a shirt on. You know what I mean?
Me?
Yeah.
Yo, man, I'm about to take off my shirt on the fucking podcast right now. You're tripping right now, son.
I know it's cool. I know it's cold there, baby.
You're tripping right now, son. I've been working out hard, man. Oof, I'm about to show you the abs, man. Wow. Shit, man. All right, anyone that goes to the PCA and watches this podcast and you see me with my shirt off, please tell me what you think.
Take that hood off, man. Are we done with the Burning Man? At least when we get done with it, can you throw that thing off?
All right, we're done with the.
You're messing up my concentration here.
You just said if I had my shirt off, I wouldn't look like I worked out.
I feel like I'm getting interviewed by some like weird role-playing like wolf creature.
This is not a fucking interview. It's a conversation, Dankness.
My bad.
For fuck's sakes. Can't two people have a conversation without it being a fucking interview? I don't understand, you know? Hold on, you talk.
I don't care what it is. Just get that hoodie off.
I'm gonna go change right now, kid. You talk. All right.
I'm gonna go fill up my water glass. I'll give these people something to think about. How about that?
We can't leave. Someone's got to be here.
Oh my god! All right, so you go. You don't need to get up to take that hoodie off. Just throw that shit on the ground. I can't. You gotta hang it up back on the wall.
Yeah, I got to.
Oh my god! You paid way too much for that thing, didn't you?
No, I didn't. It wasn't that much money.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe that.
Come on, Dang.
What are you switching hoodies on me? Oh my god!
No one can see me right now on the live stream, kid. Hold on.
Oh, shit. You're showing me that. See, that's what I'm talking about. You got like that kind of workout vibe, but not really.
No one can see me. What are you doing?
You got that. Do you even lift, bro? Vibe.
What are you talking about, kid?
I don't know, man. I don't know, kid.
You're tripping right now, man. You're tripping right now.
You guys are really missing something if you can't see this. How can I see this, but they can't see it?
I changed the setting. Hold on.
Speaking of fucking ridiculous, did you just take off the Spirit hoodie to put on the Spirit fucking sweatshirt?
Yeah, son, we're back in this place.
Jesus, dude. I don't know if this is any better. I feel like you're wearing like a hoodie made out of a rat's pubic hair.
A hoodie with a rat with what?
Don't worry, man. I'm just rambling over here. Do your thing, dog.
It's all good. It's all good. All right, we're back at the podcast. Do you know how much I bought this hoodie for?
I'm honestly scared to ask.
It was during the peak of my upswing.
Yeah, I would imagine that.
And I may have spent a little bit too much on this hoodie. Let's put it like that. And I've never worn it, except on the podcast.
Put it this way: if that thing was 4 figures, I might throw up right now.
Okay, well, let's move on.
All right, let's hit the next topic, man. No more Burning Man, man.
All right, no more Burning Man. What are your poker plans coming up here for the next couple of months? Maybe LAPC. I'll be out there in LA at the same time.
You're gonna go to LAPC? Yeah,
I might go to the poker awards, poker conference, and the little draft, the GPI draft out there at the same time.
So you gonna pick me?
I'm not drafting anyone, dude. I'm not gonna. I can't pick you.
Oh shit. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm just gonna lay low, you know. Try and you can see how I feel about the tournament scene, so I don't really want to go to too many live tournaments, you know.
You think someone's gonna fuck you up after hearing these comments?
Hey, you're going to PCA, right? Maybe you'll experience like a kind of like someone big timing you. I'm sure you will.
Someone big timing me.
Yeah, at PCA. But I don't know. You're kind of like, it's tough to big time you now because you're like, you've had all these fucking legends on the podcast. You know what I mean? So someone might think that if they big time you, they might not have a shot to like talk GTO with Ben 86 or something, you know?
Right.
Like know how much cereal he pours in each milk bowl or whatever.
That's true. So you think someone, if they big time me, so they're not going to big time me because of that.
It's like a bubble, right? So like if you're connected to Ben 86 and Sauce, and even if this person thinks you're kind of like low life poker scum, they might think they're your chance to get in with Ben and Sauce. So they're gonna like fucking, and then once they get in with Ben and Sauce, then they'll big time.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. So if they're already in with Ben and Sauce, they might big time me then.
Yeah. You'll see them in the gym. What'll happen is you'll go to the gym and you'll see Sauce walking on a treadmill, talking to this person next to him was also walking on a treadmill, who you were friends with, who you thought really liked you and liked all your Spirit hoodies. And then you're gonna say, "Hey, what's up, man?" And he's gonna give you a little grunt and say, "Hey, man, can't you see I'm walking on the treadmill with Sauce right now?" And then next thing you know, you got fucking big time.
Do you want me to tell you a story about Sauce walking on a treadmill?
Yeah, I love Sauce's treadmill.
So during the World Series of Poker this year, Sauce was walking on the stair machine in Vidara.
Oh shit!
Yeah. So and this is after
workout game.
This is after we did our podcast together. So I started chatting with him a little bit. Got on the machine next to him, and we started talking for 45 minutes. So he didn't big time me like in this story. Someone might have got big time, but in this story there was no big time, and it was a pretty fun conversation.
But that's the thing is like the people that are actually at the top of the poker world are the ones who are never going to big time. You know what I mean? It's the ones in between. Because like the ones who have made it to the top are like happy with themselves. You know what I mean? They're not trying to prove anything. They're not like weirdly socially conscious. They're just like super happy because they fucking learned GTO and now they're millionaires, you know?
So you're saying the guys that aren't millionaires, they are the ones who...
It's the in-betweeners. It's like the big thousandaires that are going to big time the shit out of you.
Is Phil Hellmuth at the top?
Well, Hellmuth's like a different breed though. You know what I mean? Because he's like made his living off of big timing people.
Right.
So like it's kind of tough to hold it against Phil because that's the reason he's such a poker celebrity is he'll just tell an amateur they're like an idiot, you know? So it's kind of, I feel like it's unfair to judge him for big timing because like that's what he does. That's just who he is.
I don't think it's unfair to judge him. No, I don't think so at all.
Don't be mad because fucking the poker brat big timed you, kid.
I'm upset, man. I'm upset about that. It was pretty harsh. It was harsh, man. It was mean. In this,
what did he do to you? What the hell did he do to you? Did you try to have him on the podcast or something?
Did you hear the story? Did I tell you the story ever?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I told a story once or twice in the podcast. It's a story. It affected me, man. I thought he was like, I thought you hear it. Okay, so during the summer, everyone, you know, they'd be like, "Oh, Phil Hellmuth's a really nice guy." I'm like, I don't think he can't be, but okay, fine. So, like that can't be true. So we're at All American Dave's outside of the Rio, and we're shooting hoops. Me, my buddy George, shout out to George Sintosh, and I think one other guy was I can't remember who that person was, but we were shooting some hoops three-way, kind of a little male and male and male MMM, and Phil Hellmuth comes out there on a break from a tournament. And so he's standing over by the hoop, you know, just kind of just in his own little world right here, starts shooting some hoops. And so I go up to him like, I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, Phil?" Like, "Hey, you know, I've never met you before. What's up? Nice to meet you." Just staring, nothing. Just standing there straight ahead. No many other people out there. You know, they're still shooting hoops. He's just standing there, nothing. I was like, "Hey, Phil, what's going on? What's going on?" Like, nice to meet you. Maybe you didn't hear me. Nothing. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? So then he walks like maybe 5 or 10 feet over to my friend George. He's like, what's going on, George? How are you? I'm like, what the fuck just happened? I'm like, wait.
Big time shit at you for blue job.
I mean, I was like, anybody saw? Like looking around, anyone see what just happened?
So many random fanboys, you know what I mean? Like he probably just thought you were another fanboy and didn't want to engage with you.
I mean, he could have just told me to go fuck off or something. Like, just didn't say anything.
It sounds like he did tell you to fuck off without speaking.
So during this, I'm standing there. He goes, George, he's like laughing, he's smiling. I was like, everyone always told me he's so nice. I was really, and then I put on Twitter, I was like, I tagged Helmuth in a tweet. I was like, oh yeah, big, you know, I guess got big time by Phil Helmuth, something like that. And he's like, well, I wasn't big time in you, kid. I was just in the zone.
Yeah, he was shooting hoops. He was probably focused in. He wanted to make his next shot. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to side with Phil here.
What are you talking about right now?
I'm gonna have to side with Phil here.
It's 9 p.m. There's not many people outside at the Rio. It's dark outside. It's not like much happening. There's not like people are coming up to him left and right.
Or something.
I probably what?
If you were wearing that hoodie, he might have been worried that you were trying to rob him.
I wasn't wearing the fucking hoodie. It's Vegas. It's 97 degrees outside.
I don't know, man. It's Phil, you know, like that's his whole spiel. Like you can't really. I would never expect that guy to like. What did you expect him to do? Like fucking shake your hand and pull out a piece of French toast from his back pocket and ask if you want to enjoy a late breakfast with him?
Well, what the fuck are you expecting from these tournament players after they bust out with Queens of the WPT main event 2 weeks ago when you go up to them and talk to them in person? Then
I'm expecting that maybe after 2 weeks' time has passed, they've realized that they may be ready and recovered enough to engage in a normal human conversation with Dankness 3. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, that's what I felt like.
I'm not hoping that I can fucking strike up a little chat with the poker brat when he's fucking playing horse for 1,800 a shot.
He wasn't playing horse. He just took a shot. He was standing there by himself.
How do you know that? He's the poker brat. He said he was in the zone. You never know what's going through his mind.
I didn't know.
Analyzing ranges. He could have literally been analyzing ranges, and you were just on his complete periphery.
Then why would he walk over to my friend after that, give him a handshake, and start talking?
Because you snapped him out of his analyzation mode, and then he realized that, oh, he knew blue job, and he wanted to say hi to him. You know what I mean, kid? You never know. That's what I'm saying. You never know. You gotta think about these things.
So I got a second story. That's going to disprove your theory.
Okay. I see what you did here. Yeah, you wanted me to respond so you could disprove whatever I said with your second story.
I do, but I got to take off this hoodie. It's too damn hot, so I'm going to go take this hoodie off. Hold on a second. Dankness, why don't you tell us about? Give the people that are playing PLO on PokerStars some secrets, some help if they're trying to get better at PLO, as you're not going to be playing much on Stars anymore.
Lex is very good, boys. Watch out for him. Watch out for Lex. Keep your HUDs updated. Don't I don't know, man. Play some PLO tournaments, you know, mix it up. Watch Galfan's 19-part series. Yeah, just you know, move up the stakes quickly. Don't stay at 10 cent, 25 cent too long, because you're just gonna be giving Stars slow donations. I don't know. I feel pretty alone right now without Joe. There he is. There you go, buddy.
We gotta put the Eat Sleep PLO tank top on here.
All right, I gotta get some water. So you be alone now.
So we're here. It's Dankness. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Just confused right now. Let me get some shout outs here, boys. Who we got in the chat? We got my boy Marco out there. What up, Marco Papi? We got Rams. We got Seven Douche. What up, Sev? We got Ola Deho. Who we got on YouTube? We got my boy M Harder 4. What up, M Harder? Derminator. Shout out to India, Derminator. Shout out to you. We got my buddy Lels. What's up, Lels? Waluigi, Balbalki, West Daniel, Massacre, my buddy Jonah Bella, Papi. Cola Mosakara Morasita. Wiedemans, Jeff, Silver, Kefka 777. What's going on, Papi? Radovan Golijo. What's happening? Tanis SSS, Luke McAuliffe, Lee Jam 97, Travis Rademacher, what up, puppy? James asking about Hollywood Haxton. I'm not sure who Ike is. Please reword your question and ask it again in proper form. Adam Heath, what up, kid? Ghetto Hits, what up, kid? My buddy Butt Farm, what up, Butt Farm, Poppy?
Serious shout out to Butt Farm.
Yo, Butt Farm's a ride or die. He rides or die with the chat, man. Butt Farm shows out. My buddy Adrian Phoenix in the chat. What's up, Puppy? Yeah. Yo, man. Yo, Adrian. Yo, what's up, kid?
Legends.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy. He called you a legend. He said, look at these legends.
Sick.
You know Adrian?
I've seen his stream a couple times.
What do you think? GTO or no?
Yeah, I mean, I was able to watch it for more than 5 minutes at a time, which says a lot for a No Limit Hold'em stream. So I'll give him that.
GTO and chill?
GTO and chill, yeah. That's what my girl do.
Is that what you and your girlfriend spend time doing? When do you spend time with her? Does she live in New York?
Yeah, she lives in New York. I'm going to see her later when she gets home. We watch a lot of Netflix. We love Netflix. Like, we do Netflix and chill like white people style. Like, we actually just watch Netflix and hang out.
I really wish Adrian would have heard about your big timing story recently. I mean, your big timing ideas and thoughts, and your Molly thoughts too. Adrian, you have to go back and watch what Dankness said about the Molly and the big timing in poker world. You got to watch it.
I don't think we're going to be able to top that.
It's okay. Courtney says, Dankness, I just wanted to thank you for shoving heartbeats by the knife, sharing heartbeats by the knife like 7 years ago.
Oh, that's some real music right there. The Knife, Swedish group. Check them out.
Sharving heartbeats by the knife?
It's just called like heart. It just search The Knife, man. Google them when you YouTube it. It's like they have a bunch of good songs. And they actually play real instruments and shit.
Have you ever been to the PCA as well?
Yeah, I went to the PCA twice.
What do you think? What is the one thing? If I'm going to go down there with a chess partner, what would be the one or two things I should be doing?
A fucking chess partner down there, Jesus. The PCA is honestly probably the biggest ripoff I've ever experienced in my life.
Tell us more.
It's first off, Nobu is the single biggest ripoff of any restaurant you will ever go to.
Disagree. I love Nobu.
There's no bigger ripoffs than Nobu. I'm sorry. If you love Nobu, you are a complete sushi fish. Because they literally mark up all their pieces of sushi. They put some weird fucking sauce on it. It's probably not even good fish. Like, it's just fucking.
I like the steak. I like the steaks there. The one in San Diego has like 4 different steak options. They cook it a little bit different. It's so good. The sushi, it's the same.
I'm a little bit of a meat fish. I usually just eat sushi when I've been there. So I can't speak on the steaks. I may be wrong in that aspect. PCA is just like this, dude. You go there. You eat like fucking chicken sandwiches and end up spending like $100 on it. Like, it's just, and then you get big time.
You get big time with people that work at Nobu.
No. People that work at Nobu will be nice. I do like the club at the PCA.
What's the club? What, a nightclub?
It's just like this one nightclub. It looks like the place that you'd hold like a teen night. You know what I mean? At your high school or whatever. But it's like fun. You get all the poker players there. They get drunk. They might not big time.
I just figured this out. I know what's happening with Dankness. He's turning into a live pro. This is how live pros talk. Negative about everything. Hate the world. This person, they're talking shit about people. The old Dankness.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner.
Talk like this.
Hey man, if this is what a fucking live pro is, great man, because I'm seeing the truth for the first time and I'm speaking the truth, my brother. No more bullshit. No more online bullshit. No more sucking up to guys because they fucking are on level 6 of GTO and I'm only on level 0.
I cannot believe it. I just figured out. Dankness is a live pro. He's a hateful live pro.
Yeah, dude, we're fucking grumpy. Like, live pros are grumpy. We don't work out like 18 times a week, you know, like Fedor and shit. We fucking eat shitty food. We sit in the casino. We get smoke blown on us. It's not fucking shit isn't sweet anymore, man. We gotta make money to feed our fucking families. Shout out to Fedor, by the way, dude.
Fedor Holes.
Fedor
the best tournament player.
For $5 million.
Yeah, you're turning. You know, you can always know. And you're on a downswing too, aren't you?
No, I'm actually somehow I'm not on a downswing. Well, if you count like this vacation I went on and then like some Christmas purchases maybe, but I'm not a poker downswing. But this is the thing with live pros. You never know when they're on downswings because they're just fucking grumpy, you know?
Yeah. Usually I feel like if they're angry and they're talking this way, they're on a downswing and they're playing live poker.
Yeah, live pros can get pretty emo when they're on downswings, but it's still not like they still won't big time you, you know?
I feel like they're just so sad that they feel like if they talk to you, they have nothing. They just don't have anything to add to the conversation. They got nothing to say because they're so sad about their situation.
It's really not that bad, man. It's not that bad. I'd definitely rather be like a live pro grinding like 2-5 than like an online tourney wizard who's mastered GTO but has also mastered being in like heavy 6 figures of makeup, you know?
Fuck, dude. Mastered GTO, but also mastered being in 6 figures of makeup. Oh my God. What do you know about that life, kid?
I mean, I know it exists. I know there's a lot of, you know, I got to represent for my live pros now because there's all these online kids saying, oh, dude, like this guy's a crusher and this dude, this live guy, he wouldn't beat 50 cents a dollar online. You know what I mean? Like, but it's like in reality, the fucking dude that they think is a crusher owes fucking Lucky Chewy, you know, $800,000 from playing the big 87, and the dude who they think sucks at fucking online is making like $200,000 a year tax free playing 2-5 live in a casino. It's like, come on, man, like wake up to the fucking times. This isn't fucking 2006 anymore. Poker's hard. You're not gonna make a fucking nice living grinding the big 162 every week. It's not happening anymore.
So you're trying to say allegedly there are people out there who might people think they're really, really good at poker, but in actuality, these are the guys that are stuck $800K in makeup to guys like Lucky Chewy, and really the guy that you think suck actually has his own bankroll.
These people are the reason that Lucky Chewy does so much fucking yoga because he has to relax because these people owe him so much money from playing the big 22 on his dime. It's like, come on, man, wake up to. I guess I am I'm just going full live pro now. Fuck it.
You are really. You sure you're not on a downswing? You've got to be on a downswing talking like this.
Why do it half-ass? You know.
Man. I mean, you're very accurate. Do you want to talk about American people, the Brian Hastings situation? Now that you're fired up about stuff.
Oh, the Brian Hastings situation.
Do you want to talk about the hate that Brian Hastings got for doing what he did when after that happened? I came out and said I made a little video about it. And I was like, yeah, this isn't like a big. Amongst the high stakes pros, this isn't like a big secret. This sort of thing's been happening for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like
because no one else will say that on record. No one else wants to talk about that and say that on record.
Say what? That it's not a big deal.
Say that the reason why many high stakes pros don't really necessarily care is because they're used to it or they hear about it. I mean, pretty much everyone knew about it.
Okay, so this is what I think about the Hastings situation. I think that it was bad.
Oh, they shut him down. Oh shit, he got shut down. Oh wait, he's back. Hold on, you got to. They cut you off at the. I think
Okay, so this is what I think about the Hastings thing. I think that what he did was bad. Like it was definitely shady, but the way he reacted to the whole situation was fucking atrocious on his part. Like, he couldn't have reacted worse to the whole situation. What he should have done was just apologize because what he did was a little shady. It might not have been shady in, like, these 4-8 mixed games, even though it probably was, but it was definitely shady in big, high buy-in tournaments where he should have just told people what name he was playing under because he's played with most of them before, you know? He has experience with them. But whatever, you know, people do that shit all the time. What was fucking ridiculous was how he came out and basically just called out everyone for calling him out. You know what I mean? You don't know what I'm talking about. Like he was saying like he made these posts like this is why the poker world's in such a state of chaos because people like to focus on negative attention. Yeah, they like to focus on negative attention when you fucking cheat them out of money. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel about it. Like I don't think personally what he did was that bad on a scale of like overall shit that goes on in poker. I think the way he reacted to it was really fucking amateur and poor. He should have just apologized.
Okay.
That's just my 2 cents on
trying
the
to think,
Stigmagate.
what do you think about stars changes?
I mean, stars changes are fucking retarded. It's basically the end of real big online poker for the most part. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's retarded. I don't really know enough to say on it. It's stupid. Like, you have all these players that are willing to put in fucking thousands of hours every year and get Supernova Elite and make you $100,000+ per head, and you just want to take them out of the economy. It's like, why? They're not like fish aren't playing on PokerStars. It's not like a fish sees that some dude is getting Supernova Elite and they're like, oh, I don't want to sit at his table. He's got 7 stars under his name. They just don't feel like playing poker anymore. You know what I mean? I think those two things are totally unrelated, personally. But I don't know, man. I'm in fucking rant mode now. I feel like I look like a tomato right now.
What do you think about Danny Negreanu's opinion inside on the PokerStars changes?
I didn't really listen to it, honestly. I'm not, to be honest, I've been watching a lot of poker recently. I've been on like a poker watching binge, and I really don't want to I don't want to see any more Negreanu than I have to right now. So if he comes on my high stakes poker feed on Twitch or whatever, I don't want to sit down and watch one of his podcasts on top of that. Just too much looking at Negreanu all day. He's all over the place, Deep thoughts, kid. Deep thoughts.
What do you think about the GPI, the new GPI player draft coming up here in February?
Fucking GPI, dude. I mean, it's like, I think that personally, like, people have this. I don't understand. It's like, it's not. I don't think it's that hard to make poker entertaining. You know what I mean? It's really not. Like, you just need to put the right people on TV in the right setting and let them do their thing. Like, but people want to do all these gimmicks. Like, they want to rank poker players. They want to have a poker fucking night in America. Like, it's just like, just fucking just get a good lineup together. Honestly, if they filmed some of the cash games at Borgata, I guarantee you it would be more entertaining television than anything that's on TV right now in terms of poker. Shots fired.
Jimmy! What do you think about my boy Jimmy Stapler, man? He's in the chat. Shout out to Jimmy Stapler. He's out on PCA. I'll be seeing him in a couple days.
Jimmy's great. I mean, the whole Twitch thing, I think, is kind of cool. I like to watch Twitch. I think it's a great platform to engage like people that may be wanting to play poker into bringing them like over to the dark side or whatever, getting them actually to play. I think Jimmy does a good job. I mean, personally, I don't think he's like one of the most entertaining streamers, but I think he does a good job with his stream. He's always engaging the listeners and stuff.
Okay. I'm just enjoying saying
What is this, fucking rapid fire?
Yes, rapid. I'm just kidding.
Rapid fire? What are you gonna ask me about next?
I'm
You just hit me with questions and just giving me huh?
I'm liking your answers, Poppy. You're fired up. What do you think about? Did you watch any of the Canoe Cast?
I listened to the beginning, but I was on the subway, and he's got a really soft voice, so it was kind of making me a little tired, and I didn't want to take a nap at that point. Like, it was almost like those old Phil Hellmuth videos or Phil Galfond videos, when you like watch his old Blue Fire videos when you're like, oh man, this is like really cool stuff, and then like 10 minutes later you're like, oh, I really could go to sleep right now, because like his voice is so calm and soothing. And I'll probably listen to it later, but I mean, personally, I have no interest in the podcast that are talking poker stars right now. That's just my own opinion.
To be honest, me either.
I mean, I think it's great what everyone's doing. Like, I really don't mean to like fucking downplay it, but I want to hear LaForte talk about, meditation, and like I want to hear how much milk like Ben puts in his cereal. I want to know about like those are the things that interest me right now.
So, did you hear his comments about podcast favorite Jason Moe? Then you didn't hear them.
Oh, I like Jason's podcast a lot. No, I didn't hear the podcast.
So maybe you can get an insight on this. So on the Canoe Cast, he made an allegation that Jason Moe doesn't actually work or do any work himself in the laboratory, in the lab. Instead, he just brings over WCG writer, the piss pot, for WCG to piss in while WCG is coming up with the formulations and calculations. And he also, that he never actually handles or comes up with the concoctions in the beakers. he only hands the beaker to someone else. Now, I don't believe that to be true. I believe Jason is the kind of guy who is putting work in the laboratory. I believe he is coming up with a little formula in his head, and that's what's helping him get better at poker. I don't believe he's just the guinea pig for WCG Ryder in the laboratory, like Canoe alleged. But what do you think, Dank? You've been at poker a long time. What do you think?
I don't really feel qualified to comment on that. I do really. Jason's grown a lot on me on his podcast. At first, I thought he was just like kind of super cocky and like he was one of those dudes that like just would say everyone sucked. But I really liked his last podcast. And oh, by the way, I love that you used the Manila Shuffle term, because that's like an amazing term that I'm starting to use in real life.
The Manila Shuffle.
Yeah.
It's a great term, man. I love making up terms and then people start using them.
Great term.
I mean, the Manila Shuffle is a true thing.
You know what else was great was the Dan Smith podcast when he was talking about his like session at the Bellagio when he ate those like lamb ribs or something, like he ate lamb ribs, and you were talking about how he in like a perfect world he was getting paid $1,000 an hour to eat these amazing pieces of lamb, but he like ended up losing like $20K, like the lamb cost. I love that conversation. You really stepped up your fucking podcast game, man. You should be proud. You need to fucking win an award this year. I'm gonna come to LA just to hand you my own personal award.
Thank you. Do you know I'm on the nomination panel this year, actually?
Yeah, baby. Who you battling with?
No. I'm one of the people that gets to vote for the nominees, but I don't get to vote for the final people. But who am I battling with? I think I'm on they put me in media industry. Nope. What the hell am I in? I'm in something. Media person of the year.
Who are you battling with? Like Remkemeyer or something?
Yeah, all the standard people, yeah.
Dude, honestly, you gotta win. You gotta win, dude. I'm sick of this shit, dude. I mean, and these people work really hard and they do a good job, but come on, man. You're fucking Joey Ingram. You gonna get? Do they give you money for these awards?
I don't think so. No, I think you get a trophy or a certificate or something. It
sucks.
Yeah, it's Can I tell the list of who's on the nomination panel?
Yeah, tell the list. I don't know if you know. Maybe you're not supposed to tell that information.
Yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to tell the list. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to tell the list or not.
Whatever, man. I'm gonna be voting for you.
Thank you. I don't think I'm gonna win it this year, but I think it's hard to win something like this because the people that are also on the nomination panel or the people who vote for the winners are probably people who I don't feel like consume that much internet content. They probably just consume magazine content, or they just know, maybe they read Poker News once a month or something like that. So they only know like the people who are featured on those sites, and they never go on 2+2 that often, and they don't really check out podcasts with the best poker players in the world. They just,
I feel like though it's kind of like, I feel like just not even from like a personal kind of, attachment to you. It's more just that like podcasts are the fucking future. You know what I mean? Like I was never a big reader. I'm not very smart. I'm probably close to illiterate, but I only listen to podcasts now because like if I want to drive somewhere, I can't read a book while I'm driving. You know what I mean? If I want to go to the gym, I'm not gonna like sit on the Stairmaster with like a fucking the Fountainhead in my hand. Like I'm gonna listen to a podcast, and I feel like I actually learn a lot from these podcasts. You know what I mean? Like, this is something I wanted to talk about. Is like, so these aren't strategy podcasts, right? Like technically these aren't strategy podcasts, right? They're just
they're not poker strategy podcast, correct?
But I think people don't understand that there's fucking two sides to poker strategy, right? There's the technical aspect, which is like learning how much you should fucking 3-bet someone and how you should adjust your ranges. You know what I mean? But the technical aspect is always changing, right? Because people are always adjusting. They're always getting smarter. They're making better dream machines. You know what I mean? But the other aspect, which is just like the mental aspect or whatever, is like I actually get a ton of shit from this podcast on that. Because like if I'll learn what like Sauce likes to do before he plays a session or whatever. You know what I mean? Like maybe he likes to walk on a treadmill. Like you can so there's all this information on this podcast that actually is strategy that people may not realize because you're not like labeling it as strategy, but you're learning what the fucking best poker players in the world, how they approach the game, how they approach life and stuff. You can fucking take these things and do them yourself if you want. And the difference between like taking like something that Sauce says before a session and trying it, like adjusting your 3-bet range, is like you can always adjust to someone's the way they're playing. But if I want to, like, let's say I want to walk on a treadmill when I'm playing, you can't fucking come to my house and blow up my treadmill. You know what I mean? Like you can't fucking see what I'm getting at. Or you not want me to? You not wanting me to expose this podcast for what it really is? Secret fucking.
Not something I like to talk about very much, but
that's fine. That's fine. We don't need to talk about it.
But I will tell you that I get a lot of messages from people telling me just that. They people don't realize that there is a lot of strategy in your podcast. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to tell anybody that. But there actually are documents out there of people who watch all the episodes who write down all these different life
my God. I would like to have one of those documents.
Yeah, it's very they show me it and I'm just like, holy shit. I'm the type of things people are learning that I'm reading in this document. It sometimes makes me want to stop doing the podcast.
No, I wouldn't worry about that shit, man. Poker's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Man, I know. It's crazy. But yeah, the documents are sick. Where are the documents? What's Joey's secret agenda for the podcast? Yeah, fuck, man. I feel like there is some secret agenda for that podcast for sure. Who do you think I should have on the podcast? Do you have any recommendations for guests?
I was actually just thinking about this. There's this guy I like, Matthew Haugen or something. He definitely follows on Twitter. His name's like Bruce Wizane. He's like he's super smart. And he has a lot of I was reading his blog and stuff. I think he'd be an interesting person to have on the podcast. I would like you to have my friend, I don't know if you know him, he's a tournament player, Nick Petrangelo. He's aka Dots, aka Can of Timbies. He's the fucking man. I don't think he would actually want to do the podcast because he's just not that. I don't think that's in his personality. I really liked Kate Hall's podcast. I thought they were really interesting. I think she's I don't know, she really stirs the pot. You know what I mean? Like she brings up a lot of interesting topics and stuff, and I think it's I mean, I don't agree with everything, but it's cool to have that type of different perspective on there.
Okay. I actually was listening to the last K Hall podcast the other day. I listened for an hour. Like I put it on there because I was editing some details in my descriptions, and I kept listening to it. I was like, guys, this is so good. I was like, this is really, really good.
Yeah, it's a good podcast. I also liked Ebony's podcast a lot. She keeps it really real.
Ebony does keep it real for sure.
I'm trying to think of people you haven't really had on. I mean, I heard you're getting Ike on. That would be really cool.
Who?
Ike.
Who's that?
I don't know. They did the Poker Stars did like a documentary on him or something. He's like a high stakes guy. Don't worry about it. I think I don't know. Maybe you're at PCA. You could meet some big time guys.
I don't like getting I like getting people I sort of know on. I don't necessarily like getting the big guys, big time guys on. I don't have any.
That's what I think is really cool about the podcast too. Is like I can come on. You know what I mean? Like mid stakes grinders or whatever. People that not a ton of people know about in the poker world. And I feel like a lot of people, honestly, if they were in your shoes, they would have started out with people like me and people you knew. And then once they got like Sauce and Kanu and Negreanu on, they would have just kept going in this big time trajectory kind of, you know what I mean? Like they would have just been like, fuck Dankness. Like he's just going to say like too much. Like he's a withered live pro now, but you show love, man. You really show love for your people who've been with you on that Supernova Elite grind, that 2-4 no limit 18 table grind with my Gucci Man avatar.
What I mean, yeah, I know what you mean for sure. But I like having people on I actually want to talk to though.
Yeah.
Like I don't necessarily, I'm not in it for the number of views you might get from a podcast. I like having people on like I'm going to enjoy speaking with, and I know, and like it's easy. I don't have to write anything down for the talk.
It's cool too because like a lot of these big time players, like Ben, for instance, like I remember, what's that poker site? They do like they have like a poker stand. The guy Marco runs it in Vegas. He does interviews with players. It's like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name. Someone in the chat will give me the name. I can't think of the name for it.
Anyway, they did like a 30-minute interview with Ben like 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember, I was just thinking at the time, like, this is such an interesting interview. Like, this dude is so fucking smart. I just want to hear more about what he has to say. But this was like the only interview on the internet with anyone like that at the time, And I was like, why doesn't anyone do this? And you've done that. You now have fucking thousands of hours of interviews with all these different, like, really smart and successful poker players. It's just cool, man. You should be proud.
I have thousands of hours of conversations with poker players, I believe you meant to say.
And you got a couple hours with the Dank Daddy himself.
Listen, I'm gonna change the fucking name to the Poker Life Conversation if people keep calling these damn things interviews.
The podcast is good. The podcast is, So yeah, we talked about this. My bad, man. Conversations.
It's a conversation. It's an interview. Does this feel like an interview to you?
No, it's cool. It's just, I mean, I've been ranting the whole time, so if it was an interview, it'd be a pretty weird one, probably.
I like the rants. The rants are good.
Yeah, I guess I'm super fired up today. What was funny was I was going to drink coffee, but I decided not to because I thought I would get too amped. But look what happened.
Why are you so fired up right now?
I don't know. I guess it's just like the Live Pro thing or something. I mean, it's more just that these like feelings have been in me for years, and I haven't found a way to release them.
Right.
You know.
This is
now, like, you've given me my outlet to release all these feelings, like these dark, twisted emotions about the poker world. Like, you've given me this outlet to release them. It's like you're my fucking therapy right now.
Oprah, baby. Oprah, you're releasing it all over me. You're releasing it all on me, Dank. You're just putting it all over me, kid. It feels so good. It's so warm. It's so juicy.
Yeah, we don't need to do any more of that.
My God, Dank. Do you hate the poker world? Do you wish you weren't in the poker world?
No. I don't the poker world. Like, I think the poker world hates the poker world, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I just think like I'm the person that wants to go up to someone I haven't seen, and say hi to them and act really excited to see them because I am really excited to see them. The person who I haven't seen, who now become friends with Lucky Chewy and, is doing yoga 18 times a week, doesn't want to see me for some reason. So that's more of where I'm coming from, if that makes sense.
So you're saying
this shit is like,
go ahead.
I hate how I keep using Lucky Chewy because he's literally the absolute opposite of this. Like, Lucky Chewy's the type of dude that won't know you. You could go up to him and say hi and pretend you know him, and he'll have like a 2-hour conversation with you. But you know what I'm saying?
So you're saying, like, when people might go to Borgata for the first time in a year and they see the Big Daddy Dank grinding some PLO.
Yeah,
they wouldn't go talk with him and go. They wouldn't go talk to him, go grab dinner with him. They would just look at him and be like, fuck this guy, and then walk away.
The ironic thing is, I don't really want to have dinner with any of these people anyway, so I don't really know why I'm bitching about it. And it's more just like, it was more just like, these are like feelings of like teenage angst, you know what I mean, that I'm getting out right now. They're like old feelings that have bubbled to the surface, and I just want to release them because I feel like it's an outlet to you right now.
So you don't even want to talk to these motherfuckers. You're just upset that they won't give you the option.
Principle of respect. I don't want to talk to them, but I don't want to get fucking big time by them or hear about the WPT bad beat.
Oh, so you just want them to give you a head nod back. You don't want them to fucking engage in a conversation about what their life.
No, just appreciate it, and then don't tell me to go to Burning Man.
Right. Okay. Who told you to go to Burning Man though? Like who's the person?
No, it's more just it's the drug thing. It's like I'm not like, I would never tell someone don't do drugs, but I would never also tell someone to do drugs, like a certainty. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're both equally ridiculous. And frankly, I think telling someone to do drugs like they need to is way more ridiculous than telling someone to not do drugs. You know what I mean? And I just feel like it's this mentality that a lot of kind of poker players I've noticed have, and it's like this. To me, it's kind of like the Jamie Kerstetter tweet. It's like, yeah, like, you've won like $5 million in live tournaments, but I don't think that makes you an expert on like what acid is going to do to my brain. You know what I mean? Like what all the positive effects it's going to give me. I don't know. It's just it's built up again. We're starting up again on the rant. I don't want to get fired up again.
Shout out to my buddy Ross from the 2+2 Poker Cast in the chat. What's happening, Ross? Hope live PLO is going well for you up in Vancouver, Poppy. I haven't chatted with you in a bit about that, but I do hope it's going well.
Basically, I think that poker players are really smart as a whole. There's a lot of very knowledgeable poker players, but they say so much stupid shit that it pisses me off, if that makes sense.
Who are some of the stupider players saying stupid shit, though?
Just anyone that's trying to convince me to do Molly because I need to because I need to feel that way. like that's stupid. Like that's a fucking stupid comment. Like there's plenty of poker players that are extremely smart that would tell me something like that.
Like who?
I'm not going to name names.
Why?
Because I don't want to make it personal. Like I'm not going to make it personal. You know, it's more just a concept of like most of these poker players are really smart, but that doesn't make them like authoritative figures on using like, you know, extremely powerful drugs.
Okay.
But like I like the way that Dan Smith did it. You know what I mean? He blogged about his own experience. He was completely honest with everything he did, and he blogged about it. But he didn't say like, you know, you need to do this. You know what I mean? Like he just said this is what it did to him, and clearly it had a positive effect on him. You know? It's fine. It's fine when someone says I did this and I had an incredible experience from it. I think that you should try it. It's a different thing when they say you need to do this drug. You know what I mean? Like you really need to open your mind or whatever. But no, I mean, there's a ton of really smart people. I've really been impressed with a lot of the people that are on the podcast. I think that they're really smart people. They have a lot of really intelligent things to say, and it's just cool that you constantly are getting these new people on. You know, and everyone has something different to say. You know, like fucking CG, his story was awesome. Like that's an amazing story.
One of the best stories of all time.
Like 15 times, literally getting the Manila Shuffle pulled on him. You know, like. And then, you know, you have like Kate, who's coming from a completely different world of being a lawyer and wants to get into poker and is clearly very conscious about all these, you know, male-female related issues. And, you know, it's just, I mean, it's cool to learn about all these things in the poker world, you know, and I feel like that's what's great about the poker world is you have so many different personalities kind of coming together and you can learn from them. But I feel like a lot of people just want to fucking lay this bullshit on you and it's annoying. That's all. I'm done. Yeah, I'm zapped out.
Someone in the chat said maybe you should smoke something.
Oh man.
Calm me down a little bit.
Probably should, man. I'm too fired up. But that's what happens when you stop smoking weed, you know, 8 times a day. You get your emotions back. You feel passionate about things. You want to talk to people. It's just a very common side effect of not smoking a ton of weed.
We got Andrew Chen in the chat. What's up, Chen? He said Dankness. He loves Dankness, man. Shout out to him.
Thanks, Chen. He's a good guy. Good tournament player.
Would he ever suggest you when you do Molly with him in the desert?
I mean, yeah, he's the type of person I feel like would say it in a really funny way. Like he'd kind of come up to me and be like, "Hey, man, do you want to do Molly in the desert with me next month?" And I might be open to that type of suggestion, you know.
Okay, that makes sense.
That would never happen, by the way.
What do you mean? Why not?
I don't know. I just don't think that situation would ever unfold that way. But I do feel like he would be the type of person that wouldn't be like overbearing or know it all about it. And you know what? People are having really good experiences on Molly. But to be honest with you, that's what scares me about it.
You don't want to have that good experience. You're worried that the good experience will ruin your other experiences that you might not have on it.
I don't want to have an experience that's so good that I want to have that again. And I know people say that like Molly doesn't make you feel that way, but I think that's kind of bullshit, honestly. I don't think you can feel a certain level of good and just not want to feel that way constantly. I just don't believe that.
You know, they say you shouldn't have sex on when you're on it because the sex is so good that if you go back to having regular drug enhanced sex, that it's just not as good, and you'll want to have that.
Yeah.
Which never thought about that, but it's very true.
To be honest, though, I smoked so much weed that it kind of ruined, I think, my drug taking experience because I smoked so much weed. It really I started to hate it, and I just started to not want to be like. I just wanted to be in my own mind. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to be feeling the natural thoughts and feelings that I was feeling without having any influence. And I think that kind of makes me anti-drug. So maybe that's kind of where this rant is coming from in a way, even though that's not really a reasonable explanation because weed is like a completely different drug than Molly or ecstasy or LSD or yoga.
Do you drink alcohol?
Yeah, I drink.
Isn't that technically a drug too?
Yeah, I mean, no, alcohol is definitely a drug. I drink very rarely because I get hungover way too easily. And basically, I only like to drink if it's going to be like a big night. You know what I mean? Like I don't just want to like go out and have like 3 beers with someone. I want to like if we're going out, we're going to have a fun night. We're going to go to a bar, whatever it is. I'll drink. I don't just want to like have like. Because I don't know, I don't personally love the way that alcohol affects me, unless it really affects me, in which case I kind of like that. I don't know. So maybe I'm just a massive hypocrite.
That's what someone in the chat was just pointing out.
Yeah, that's probably a good point, actually. I mean, alcohol definitely is a drug. I guess it's because it's more socially acceptable. I haven't put these kind of more extreme sort of, you know, labels on it like I have with something like Molly. But I do think that I know that alcohol doesn't make me feel like an insanely good feeling, if that makes sense to you. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's a safe feeling I'm feeling. I'm scared to feel this incredibly good feeling that's the best feeling of my life if it's through a drug, if that makes sense to you.
My buddy Adrian says, does Dankness think weed is plus EV in moderation or better off without completely?
I mean, for me, it's 100% better off without completely because I just wasn't able to moderate it. I think if you can moderate it, I think it's just important to like check yourself with weed. Like if you're smoking weed, if you like go home from work or whatever, you've been grinding all day and you smoke a joint and watch a movie, I think there's no problem with that. If you notice that like you have a doctor's appointment on a Sunday and you're smoking a bubbler before you go to the doctor, I think you need to probably think about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying, but I'm learning.
Just, yeah, it's within moderation. I'm sure it's fine. And it's definitely a good drug for poker for sure.
Why?
Because poker is extremely stressful. And I think weed is a good way to kind of numb yourself to that stress, but you have to be careful about how much you use it.
My current chess partner was telling me that she seems like I'm very high strung and sometimes stressed out, and that I should smoke weed because it would calm me down a little bit.
Have you ever smoked?
No.
You've never tried it?
No.
That's funny that you've done all these other drugs, you haven't tried weed. Yeah, I would try it. I mean, I don't think it can hurt to try it. You might really like it, you know?
That could be a problem, as we've stated already, couldn't it?
I don't think that would be a problem for you because you strike me as a pretty motivated person. You know what I mean? Like, but then again, maybe, you know, you just be like watching like League Pass every night, never leaving your house.
Could be a problem. I was doing that.
I think the whole thing with weed is that it's seen as such a harmless drug that to me is where the danger is in it, you know? Is that it's just like, oh, it's just weed, like it's totally fine. And that is true for the most part, but it's not fine when you're smoking like, you know, 5 blunts a day and you know, you haven't like changed clothes in a week. Like that's not fine, you know what I mean? I'm definitely making it too extreme, but you know what I'm saying.
What about scripts like Adderall? Is Dank against those?
I actually had an Adderall prescription because when I was in high school, I wanted to take the SATs, and I was just kind of stupid, and I couldn't sit in the room for that long, and I just like so I got a, basically, long story short, I got an Adderall prescription, I used it, and I actually stopped using Adderall because when I was smoking weed a lot and I used it with Adderall, I felt like they were like doing the exact opposite things to my brain. Like Adderall was making me focus very intensely, and weed was kind of pulling my brain, like just loosening it up. So I stopped using it because I didn't like the way it worked with weed. But I think Adderall's fine. Again, in moderation. Like if it helps you focus, like that's great. If you find yourself not eating for 84 hours, like Lex said he used to do, don't use Adderall, you know?
Reese twice asks, how do you quit weed?
Oh, weed for me was super easy. I just stopped smoking it. Like, I don't know, weed isn't like a drug. I mean, I'm sure people have different reactions, but weed isn't like heroin or something where you're gonna like get like insanely sick. Like I just quit smoking and then I never smoked again. It's been like 6 years.
Someone in the chat just gave me a whisper that everybody can see, and he said, I'm whispering, by the way, so no one else can see this. So
very smooth.
He said, can I say the message? Looks like he win the Sunday Million? Thanks. All I have to say is thanks for the podcast. Oh, so maybe he did win the Sunday Million because of the podcast run good. Shout out to him, man.
Nice.
Much love, much love. Someone said something about, sorry, I feel bad saying someone. Let me name the exact person who's saying things like this. Where's the comment at? Ross Stuffin says, how does Adderall compare to modafinil / Provigil? Someone to talk about modafinil. I don't know how to say that word. If
modafinil.
Modafinil. Yeah. I'm not pronunciation pro, man. Do you know about that? I don't know. I
I've
don't
heard
know much
about
about
that.
it.
It sounds a little sketchy to me, but people have like, I mean, it's what is it? That drug that's like people use in India or something, and like it makes you focus for like 20 hours, but then you like have to shit for an hour. I don't know, man. There's always some weird side effects to all these drugs. You notice that?
Yeah, yeah, side effects to everything, basically. When you think about it.
The way I guess I feel like is I think you should try to do things on your own without any kind of performance enhancers. And if that doesn't work, like if you feel like you're struggling and you're still trying hard, then you can do something. You know what I mean? Like you definitely shouldn't be using these drugs if you can perform at an optimal level without them.
I think that's true.
Because there are side effects to all these drugs. And like, yes, maybe you will increase your performance, but if you're already at an optimal level, like is it worth the side effects to increase it to a little bit more optimal? You know what I'm saying?
Thought about that a lot.
I guess it depends what you want, you know what I mean, and how happy you are and how content you are with yourself. And like, if you're always striving for more, then I think it makes sense. If you're kind of more content, you know, you're like a live pro like me who's content to play 2-5, you know what I mean, and not get big time by the 2-5 regs, then you know you're fine. You don't need to take modafinil and have to shit for hours every night.
No one. I don't know how to say this guy's name. He says it's just a drug stream. I feel like this particular subject is very, very relevant to the poker world for sure. Like people take these drugs at poker, people do these drugs and still play poker. Like, and this is like a very, there are probably people out there listening to this that everything we've been talking about is very, very relevant to either themselves in this current situation or maybe something in the past or maybe something that they might be into in the future. And obviously there's going to be some people out there who've never tried any of this who might be interested in the conversation, might be interested in the topic. There'll be some people who've never tried anything who aren't interested in the topic. And if this isn't a topic you're interested in, that's fine. Check out, I'll refund you your money that you're paying for the podcast today. And yeah, man, it was, thanks for tuning in, but I feel like these subjects are very relevant to my own personal existence in the poker world, my buddy Dank's existence in the poker world, and a lot of other people out there. So that's why I enjoy this topic and I'm enjoy having it. It's not a topic I get to have very often with people who are also knowledgeable and understand the particular topic in relation to playing poker and trying to have success in poker. If that answered your question.
There you go, baby.
Bang, bang. That answered your question, man.
I think Lex did a good job talking about it. Like he talked about Adderall and Ritalin really well. And I want to get that supplement he was talking about. That shit sounds like it's the fucking truth.
Checkio.
Yeah, I wanted to message him about getting some of that, but he always gets like mad when I message him at the tables.
If only there was a website where you could Google search the name of the product and then order it on your own. I know something like that exists though.
I'm about to order some Molly right now for this Tiesto concert.
Where do you do that at? How does that work?
No, I'm not. Well, I saw Tiesto in Vegas this summer and blacked out. It was awesome.
Wait, what?
We went to Hakkasan. The only night I went out in Vegas, I went to Hakkasan and Tiesto was performing. And it was like a fucking zoo in there. Like, apparently he has this contract with Hakkasan, right? It's like a $30 million contract or something. And so he was performing at Hakkasan. I figured, whatever, like he performs there every night because he's got this contract, right? But no, like people were going nuts. You like couldn't move in there because everyone was like, Tiesto. It took me like, my friend had a table. It took me like 15 minutes to get from the bathroom to my friend's table because of how many people were pumped for Tiesto. But it was a fun night.
I remember when we went to, me and Georgie went to see, it was Tiesto at Hakkasan. Wait a second. And we were gonna go meet up with the Brazilians. They got a table there at Hakkasan. So, and it was late at night. It was 12:30 or 1 or something like that. And it was fucking, you could not fucking move. You could not walk. So we were trying to walk from get in and get to the table. But getting to this is not easy. They're like dance floor table. It's not easy to get to the tables there at Hakkasan.
No, we had the same situation.
So what happened was we're trying to squeeze through, and there was this empty opening that there was a security guard guarding, but they let people up to leave, but you couldn't actually go down there because there was 20 people there. But it was like a way to get to the tables. So me and George asked the guy by the door, like, "Hey, can you help us? Can you help us get through here? We cannot walk through here. We can't walk around all the people. Like, can you just help us?" Finally, security guard's like, "All right, I'll walk you over there." Security guard walks us over there, and he talks to the other guy. He's like, "Hey, like I'm gonna walk these guys through to the table." the alleged table, even though I think it was like confirmed we have the table. So as we're walking by, George decides, I'm going to hand the guy that helped us through here $20 to say, thanks. Unfortunately, that was a mistake because the security guard's like, wait, you said he had a table and now you're just giving this guy $20. Like, what, you're trying to cut through and get to the dance floor or something like that. Security guard takes us, pulls us, goes, no, you guys aren't fucking going anywhere. And I'm like, George, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, what, man? I was tipping the guy, I was just showing him some love. I was like, what do you think was going to happen? There's all these people that are standing here, crunched together, can't move at all, and we're just skating on. 20. Yeah, we're just skating on by the security guard, walking through there and going through. Like, what do you think was going to happen? People are going to get fucking upset. Like, look at these assholes, big time in the fucking crowd, trying to give them $20 to get through. So we decided we couldn't get to the table. We walked around a little bit, and then we left. That was it. What?
Oh, man, that's weak. You know what I will say? I think Hakkasan, that was the best experience of having a table I've ever had. Because normally I think when you have a table, especially with poker players, you oftentimes get this dynamic where it's just kind of awkward and there's like 10 different poker players drinking like mixed drinks, and then like one girl will wander in and like her friends will come, and then like the girl will talk to someone and then like all of her friends will leave. You know what I mean? And like this rinse and repeats happens for the whole night. But because Hakkasan was so packed, people were just forced to come to our table out of like space issue. You know what I mean? Like there was no space for them to stand. So they kind of had to come to our table. So it created this dynamic where it was like people, like girls and dudes were coming to the table because there was like a necessity. And if the dudes were annoying, like the big bouncer would just toss them. So that I think that was, I think tables at Hakkasan are GTO.
I feel like this is a very sample size based issue that you're having right now. But
yeah, I don't go out much. I also will say drinking Grey Goose out of the bottle or straight is not GTO.
I went to Hakkasan another time this summer. Did you read that story? I put it in my trip report.
I didn't read the trip report. I don't read anymore, man. I'm doing the podcast, Brian.
So this one was when I went out with the German guys, because I basically go out with all the different groups of PLO players from all, like, they all hang out their own little groups, but I know them also. I go out with different groups. Like I went out. That was a Neuer. Yeah, that was a Neuer thing. Yeah. What's his name? Neuer or Neuer? How do you say his name? Neuer.
Yeah.
That was the night at Hakkasan too, where I met that guy, and he seemed fun. No one was there. No one was at Hakkasan that night. There was no Tiesto, and it wasn't that crowded. But
I guess you need to go on a Tiesto night.
I don't like it when it's that crowded. Like that's the reason I don't like nightclubs. You can't dance around. You can't move. Like you can't really.
I'm telling you, man, you would have had a good time if you were at this table. I don't like nightclubs either, and I definitely don't like crowded. But once you got to the table, it was good.
Yeah, I feel like most tables, like Omnia in San Diego, they have out there. I went out with a bunch of the poker guys a couple times there, and it was just so crowded. You couldn't move. You couldn't like talk to anyone. You could talk to people, but you had to like, I don't know. It was awkward. It was like that table.
I'm kind of under the opinion that when you have a hot girlfriend, going out to clubs is not really GTO at all.
By yourself.
Just going out.
Listen, I used to think that until I saw Cole South, a.k.a. CTS, take his wife out to the nightclub with us in San Diego, and they look like they're having a pretty fun time. So if CTS thinks it's GTO to take your wife and or girlfriend to a nightclub, I now think it's GTO as well, too, because I know CTS would never do something that was not GTO.
I would imagine, though, CTS's girlfriend drinks.
Wife. I feel like they both may have enjoyed a cocktail. I can't say specifically for sure. I don't remember 100% that she had a cocktail in her hand, but I would imagine that they did.
Yeah, I guess if they drink, it's GTO.
Did you not ever? Your girlfriend doesn't drink?
No, she's sober.
Oh, why is that?
She's just been sober for 10 years. She just stopped doing drugs when she was in her early 20s and stopped doing everything.
Wow. How does that work with somebody like you who may enjoy getting blacked out from time to time at Tiesto at Hakkasan at a table where it's crowded with people that...
Luckily, the blackout habit is pretty small in terms of my overall like habits. Like, I would say it's right up there next to like, trying to win the Big 22. Like, it's just something I don't do almost ever. And
what is the Big 20? What is this? I have no idea what it is, dude.
I don't know. It's just like a tourney thing. I feel like it whenever I think of like a tourney grinder, I just think of the Big 22,
Who is the Big 20? Well, who does that mean? Who is this?
It's like a tournament on PokerStars. It's you know, they have the bolded tournaments. It's like bolded in red. It says the Big 22, and it's like, I feel like it's like what all the like high stakes tournament regs play when they're just like struggling and like they're on a downswing and they just want to like win a $22 tournament for like 10K or something.
What's big about it?
It's got like 20,000 people in here or something.
Oh, big. Ooh.
Huge. They should call it the huge 22.
Okay. So, but back what you were saying about the girlfriend.
Oh yeah. So I mean, personally, like for me, I think that getting drunk is just the way, you know, and probably honestly, I guess I feel like I'm being a little hypocritical because this is probably the way people see Molly, but it's just the way to kind of relax and like get loose. You know what I mean? Like just let go of like your issues and just have a fun night out with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole purpose of like going out and clubbing, I feel like is kind of revolves around sex a little, you know?
I don't think so.
No?
I think it's about going out with your friends. I think it's about going out with your friends, having a good time, having that moment, that bond with your friends, and just enjoying yourselves.
Yeah, you're not interested in girls at all when you're at a club. You just want to hang with your boys, just hang with the boys, drink a couple mixed drinks, and then get out of there. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you really. I mean, maybe when I was younger and I was like sex crazy and I wanted to fuck every single person that walked, every single woman that walked, bang bang, shout out to me. But if I wanted to have sex with both, that's fine. That's okay. We accept that. 2016, we accept things like that. If you want to do something like that, that's fine. Animals, plants, dogs, whatever you want to do, that's fine. Don't tell me about it, but whatever. But when I was like that, when I was younger, it might have been a different story. But now as I've gotten older and I realize like you're not going to have this sort of meaningful experience, relationship, or time with a girl you meet at a club. It's going to be
that doesn't mean you might not play some chess.
Now listen, I'm not saying accidental chess doesn't take place. I'm just saying that it's not my focus and goal.
Really accidental?
Yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. But I mean, if chess walks up to you and starts playing with you, you're not gonna walk away from the board. No, you're gonna step up to the board and take on the challenge, man. You're gonna
step the challenge. Yeah, I respect that.
Exactly. You're gonna do your opening. You're gonna play the king 9 to the 7-4, and you're gonna go after it. You're gonna try to win the match.
I feel like this whole chess metaphor must get really confusing when you have Jen Shadad on, where you talk about her.
No, I think she was one of the people I think Fedor was actually the one that helped bring it to our attention, and then Jen Shahad helped us bring it farther along. So obviously Fedor is involved.
Fucking Fedor, man.
Is Fedor your favorite tournament poker player?
No, definitely not. To be honest, I'm not really even a fan of his, but I think it's cool how much money he's won.
Are you a fan of anybody?
I know there's some tournament players that I love. Like I love Nick Petrangelo. He's one of my favorite people in poker. I love Athanasios. I don't know if you ever met Athanasios. He's a legend. He's won a couple bracelets. Yeah, there's a lot of good tournament players. Shout out to my boy Alex Kim. He's retired, but there's a lot of good tournament players out there. Money in Bag on PokerStars. Pretty good under the radar guy.
Trevor says, is your girlfriend a big reason why you quit weed?
Oh yeah, definitely. But it wasn't like this thing where it was like I quit because like she was pressuring me to quit. It was like I realized that if I wanted to have like a really good and meaningful relationship with this person, I needed to be like present for most of the time I was with them. I couldn't just be high all the time. You know what I mean? And so yeah, she's meeting her and quitting weed are definitely the two biggest things that have changed my life in terms of where I am now versus where I am then. And I mean, back then I was a successful online pro, and now I'm a live pro. So look how far I've come. Talk about climbing to the top of the mountain. But I got these rants. You know what I mean? Like I got these rants. I'm still worth something. You still got the girlfriend too in your life, right? Allegedly. Allegedly. I can't. No receipts though. So You really don't have any receipts, honestly. It's scary. We don't take pictures. I'm off Facebook too. Yeah. So why is that? Why no receipts? Why no anything? I don't know. We're not very photogenic, I guess, and we just don't really care that much. Like on this trip, she said we should take more pictures, and I was just like, okay, but I mean, I don't really care. Like, I feel like you have a good memory. Like, you don't always need to take a picture. You know what I mean? I feel like cameras kind of get annoying for me these days. Like the way people, especially in concerts, like that really pisses me off. people are like on their fucking like this the whole time, you know, like when you're at a concert.
Wait,
like,
Dank, you're telling me these people aren't going to watch back all these dumbass videos that they can't even understand what's happening in them?
I'm telling you, who the fuck wants to like go to a Kendrick Lamar concert, then go home and watch a 2-hour video you recorded of that concert? Like, what are you doing? Just go to the concert and have fun. Maybe these people need to do Molly.
I mean, I'm not going to get to that comment. I'm not even going to get ridiculous of you saying that comment right now. But what about the idea of that, you know, let people do their own thing? Why stress about it? Why worry about it?
Because sometimes things like get annoying for me, you know? Like they impinge on my physical space. Like when someone tells me I should go to Burning Man and do LSD and, you know, PHP or whatever.
Why get so emotional or mad about it when you like, just, you know, that's how some people are. That's what some people want to do. Why not just let them enjoy that?
They can do that. I just don't like when it starts to barge into my own experience. If that makes sense.
So you feel like it's barging into your own life experience, these people and their suggestions to do this?
Well, I feel like, for one, just the whole electronic music craze has barged into my life experience, because I used to really enjoy music, and now like music just is electronic music. Like everyone makes it. Like if you want to be a big artist, you need to like make a remix with Skrillex and Diplo. You know, like it's just like, and I guess I am a little bit sour about that. That like the uns has taken over the mainstream of music, and you know they pay Tiesto fucking $30 million to spin the same 8 songs every night at Hakkasan, but you know, I don't know. I guess it's just, I don't really feel like it's not like, trust me, I'm not walking around like the Incredible Hulk, like freaking out on people in the street because like I heard a Tiesto song last night when I was going to sleep. Like it's more just, now that you're asking me about these things, they're coming out, you know? Like I'm not, you know me, dude, I'm not an angry person. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It's probably that these things are just kind of built up. I feel like everyone has these things built up inside of them. And when you have like a master podcaster / conversator like yourself, you're able to, you know, find a way to release them and tap into them.
A master versator? What do you call me?
Master conversator.
A master versator, huh?
A masturbator.
Master versator. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Guys from the chat, we'll take a couple questions and then I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go soon. I got intense. Nothing. I got nothing going on. I just gotta go. Joey, give me power on this front. Some people are trying to use the kingdom as an ad space. Oh, okay, I'll make you moderator, Daniel. Shout out to my buddy Daniel. There you go, Daniel. You are a moderator, puppy. Enjoy. Chris Coys, what up, Chris? Take a couple questions, guys. I'm going back to sleep, man. I slept so long last night, Dank.
Yeah, you seem like you've been in that sleep grind.
Yo, I just love sleep.
It's great.
Is it a bad thing to love sleep, you think?
No, definitely not. I mean, it can be dangerous, but it's enjoyable.
Willem says, please tell Dankness that I'd marry him if I was a guy, if I was gay and I'm not even on Molly.
I was going to say, if you would marry me if you're a guy, that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I appreciate the compliment. Thank you, Willem. It'd be weird to be married to a dude named Willem. That'd be a fucking weird-ass relationship.
CH Boy says, I think he has no idea what he is talking when it comes to any drugs besides the ones he has used.
I would say he's probably totally right, but I still am entitled to my opinion, and you're listening to it, so I guess that's your loss.
Check Ray says, Dank is an idol for me. He grinded his way from Borg. He grinded his way from the Borgata 2.5 to the legend he is now. Much respect.
Now I'm back at the Borgata 2.5, so thanks, buddy. That's really subtle, man. I really like to show love on here, Joey.
Serious comment? You must have missed the beginning of the podcast.
You probably just chimed in right now.
Holy fucking shit, man. Oh my god. If you're looking for an energetic high on weed, just add cracker meth. Thank you. Oh my fucking god. Oh my gosh. Butt Farm says, Dangus, have you tried vaping weed, especially sativa? The actual smoke is what leads to a lot of the grogginess.
I'm really shocked that someone with named Butt Farm would have a comment like that. And I never really liked vaping because I didn't like smoking weed out of a turkey bag.
Okay. Okay.
Probably.
Derminator says, had a horrible day, but recovered 5 buy-ins in the last 2 hours. The podcast run good is back.
Sick. You tell me to send it to my PayPal if he wants.
Send to his PayPal, please. Jep Jack says you should go to techno raves. For most people, it's therapy, and there's a really strong bond between the people.
Something tells me that if what I'm doing now is therapy, techno raves are probably not going to be therapy for me. But I appreciate the idea.
Mason says, question for Joey and Dank. What events from your childhood and adolescence had the most impact on your behavior today?
Well, that's a pretty serious question.
Very serious question.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't really think any. Personally.
Maybe you should think about this more, because I bet that's not true.
Well, I do think there are some, but honestly, I don't really want to get into it right now because I feel like we're winding down the podcast, and that's like a completely different story. You know what I mean?
Okay. I've thought about this a lot because of a recent discussion with D-Fish, Daryl Fish, who I need to have on the podcast very soon. And yeah, but like Daniel said, the podcast is winding down, so it might not be the GTO time to get into it. I'll get into that with Daryl Fish because we've talked about this a lot. We talked about a lot that potentially your at-home life and the relationship with your parents leads to the way that you view relationship and sex with other partners in general. Yeah.
I can't really speak
stuff. What he told me, I was like, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I can't really speak on that.
Moises Zev says, thoughts on cocaine? Never
tried it. If I want to go out to a club and then clean my entire apartment afterwards, I definitely will give it a shot
though. Is that what are the people that do therapy called? Therapies? What are they?
They're called therapists, Joey.
No, they're called like psychologists or something. Like
there's therapists and there's psychologists. There's different types of people for different types of needs.
Oh, I thought there was a different type of word for them that they used. I didn't think it was just therapists. I thought it was something. Because therapists could be.
They don't all just sit there and say,
Okay. Do you know anything about geography, Dank?
No. Oh my God, my geography's so bad. I get made fun of it. I get made fun of it all the fucking time. It's embarrassing.
What country is Singapore in?
China.
Japan?
I said China.
Singapore's in China. Okay.
But I just said I don't know anything about geography. But check this out. It's an India picture I got. You like that?
Why do you have an India picture on your wall?
Because when me and my girlfriend were looking for things to decorate, we picked that out. It's got a big elephant.
Okay. So Singapore is actually a country. It's not in China.
Oh, it's another trick question.
Well, it was a question. I want to know if you knew the answer to it. It's funny. I actually didn't know the answer as well, but someone in the chat pointed it out too. So
geography is definitely one of my weakest subjects, and I have a lot of really weak subjects.
We were trying to learn what England and Great Britain and the UK and Wales and all these things were, how to tell the difference between them all on the last podcast, and I still don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I know whales usually are in the sea, and that's all I know about that.
Yeah, people expect that they think you should know all this type of geography. I don't understand why.
Well, you probably should, but like also it's like, well, when are you ever going to need to know geography except when you're like going to an EPT or something, so you can get 8th in a high roller.
That's true. That's a good point. You got anything else you want to add, Big Daddy Dank?
I've really enjoyed the podcast. I'm glad you could have me back on. I'm glad I got some of my demons out, thanks to your therapy or whatever it was we were doing. And I hope people enjoyed.
How much are you going to send me for this session?
I'm going to send you whatever's in my PayPal account because I think I have like $8 in there.
That'd be nice of you. That might be able to buy me a bottle of water at the Pacific Caribbean Adventure.
That I think the water's free there, but you should get this drink. It's called a Goombay Smash.
What's a Goombay Smash?
I don't know. You remember? You ever met Nolan?
Of course I met Nolan. Nolan was one of the first poker players I met in San Diego.
Could you imagine what he? It would be amazing to get him on the podcast because
he's such a legend, honestly.
Such a legend. I met him for the first time at PCA, and we drank Goombay Smashes and played 1-2 PLO together.
That had to be a fun time. Nolan was he was like the first guy I ever watched in a training video on Deuces Crack back in the day. And he was playing like 3-6 and winning at like 10 BB per 100 or something like that. And I was playing 10th at 25 cents.
He had that awesome Boston accent. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to 3-bet this guy here because I don't really think he has much. Yeah, he usually just has shit.
No, dude, I watched his training videos on Deuces Crack like 30 times. They were so great. I just loved him. He was such a...
Yeah. Shout out to Deuces Crack. That site was great.
Yeah, I like Deuces Crack. I'm actually going to have Jay Rosenkrantz back on the podcast this month.
I want to hear about his book. Like, that always seems like such a hard thing to do. Like, I remember Never Scared B was talking about writing a book, and I'm just like, dude, how are you going to do that? You know what I mean? It's like so much work. I'm saying like again. We got to end this thing.
John the Main. What's up, John Puppy? What up, the Main? Fucking legend. Legend in his own right in the full ring streets. Did you watch Jurassic World?
No, I wanted to see it, but my girlfriend didn't, so we just kind of canceled it.
You got to watch this fucking movie, dude. It
looked kind of funny, but it looked bad. I mean,
let me play a little hypothetical with you here, Dank. Okay. Let's say that this is where we're gonna go. We're wrapping up after this. You haven't seen Jurassic World? It's fine. So, if you were running an amusement park, hypothetically speaking, with dinosaurs in them, genetically modified, enhanced dinosaurs, that cost many, many millions of dollars to create, to run, to keep operational. Don't you think you'd have a pretty good security containment plan in case one of those animals escaped or got out in the public or got out in the loose? Like this is the one of the biggest breakthroughs in the world. Don't you think you'd have a good containment plan in place?
I mean, you might just be so pumped about having these cool things that you wouldn't really think that through, you know?
I don't think so. I feel like you'd have a good containment plan in place. You wouldn't have a handful of guys with rifles and 2 helicopters on the island. It just doesn't make much fucking sense. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because it's going to tilt the fuck out of me. I watched the movie last night. I couldn't believe it.
I could tell you're ready to go into a Jurassic World rant, but maybe you should do like a special podcast series for that. I feel like you could do like a 10-part series.
If anyone's seen Jurassic World out there and wants to come on a podcast with me and discuss it, please let me know. And me and Krantz are going to be discussing his update on his virtual reality that he's working on. We're also going to be talking Star Wars. This was the main reason for the podcast, was us talk the new Star Wars movie. So we're going to talk the new Star Wars.
Smart dude right there. I'm fucking grinding 2.5 at Borgata after starting out grinding 2.5. This dude is literally like making games for virtual reality and writing a book. It's nice to know where your place in the world is.
We're going to end it on that, kid. There's always the future. You can work hard to get your way out of that, man. You'd be playing the 5100 game in no time.
Maybe I can make my own rants on YouTube or something and 20 people will watch.
That's true. Mosey says, Joey, I'm in the nuclear industry, and I could tell you right now the regulations on that would be insane. I agree completely. I mean, I know it's in Costa Rica. The park's based in Costa Rica. I understand that. But they'd still have some type of regulations on this fucking park with all these genetically modified, enhanced dinosaurs on the park. It just doesn't make sense for
you know what? If these dinosaurs did get loose in Costa Rica, they might be able to eliminate the entire population of losing tournament players that have relocated to live there. So that might not be a total downside. Let's end it on that note, kid.
All right, we're out, man. I don't know when I'll be back for sure. PCA, we got Ike Hollywood Haxton coming up. We got Chris Moneymaker coming up. Potentially, we got Elke coming up in person, and we might get a couple of surprises. I'm going to be recording a long video while I'm there of different people that I see down there hanging out, and I'll be playing some intense chess while I'm there as well, looking to make a future high-stakes PLO prodigy. So that's it. We're out of here. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me get some shout-outs, and we're going to go. We got Derminator, DZJR, Raw Stuffing, Global Exposure, Dominic Lemartz, Luke McCullough. Who else we got? Kerry Curtis. What up, Kerry Puppy? What have you taken, Joey? That's a personal question, bro. Master Kerr. What up, Master? Raised twice. Fiending. What up, Fiending? Puppy. What up, Daniel? Show of Force. CH Boy, Willem Mueller. Matt Campbell, my buddy. Daniel T. Chris Quas. My buddy Adrian. John the Main. Adrian Rems. Ricky Yo. You want to give any shout outs before we take off, Dank?
Nah, man. Shout outs to Lucky Chewy. That's it.
Shouts to Lucky Chewy, Cuckold, Marco, Wiedemans. Guys, we're out of here. Be back soon. Follow along. Dankness on Twitter. Joey on Twitter. That's it. Peace out. Adios. Much love. Como sacano la cita. Let's